What's going on, friends? It's Anton Daniels, and I gotta have a conversation with you guys about Henley because you see how the sun is hitting me. This is no finesse, no makeup, no filters, no none of that. This is 100% Henley. I use it in the morning as soon as I get up, right after I pray and brush my teeth, jump in the shower, and I'm hitting the streets because you never get a second chance to make a first impression. So even though they're giving you 40% off your first order, 20% off for life, even though you may get a free gift, forget all that, right? Because we would do this even if it was full price because it's worth that much. I'm in the streets, I'm kicking it with people when I see Dusties everywhere. You don't want to be them. You want to separate yourself. And the way that you separate yourself is self-care. Ladies get it for the fellas. Fellas don't wait for the ladies to get it for you. I'm about to hit the streets right now and I'm feeling confident. I'm feeling great. I mean, I already got confidence, but to have that extra boost of confidence, knowing that you've taken care of yourself and you set yourself apart from all of the rest of the sheep that's walking around making bad decisions on a daily basis. And it's reflected in their actions. It's reflected in the products that they use. It's reflected in the people that they follow. And so if you're trying to level up, if you're trying to make sure that you look good, they're going to send you the pack. They're going to give you all of the instructions on how you're supposed to use it. Then make sure you get your Henley. Again, 40% off your first order, 20% off for life. Get your free gift. Make sure you tap in with your boy Anton Daniels because Unc is never going to lead you wrong. I would never have you use a product that I don't use myself. Again, they've been rocking with me for a long time. Make sure you get your Henley. I love you. I appreciate you. I'm going to holler at you guys later. What's going on is Anton from AntonDaniels.com. I appreciate you guys for continuing to rock with me. Thank you for tuning in for another edition of the Millionaire Morning Show. I am your host, Anton Daniels. What up, what up, what up, what up, what up? Feels a little weird to actually be back in the studio into the Millionaire Morning Show set, but we are here today. What's going on, friends and family? How y'all feel? You asked, and so you shall receive. Yes, we are back in here. Y'all was acting like somebody took y'all puppy. You know what I'm saying? I do pay attention to the comments. I pay attention to the feedback. I understand how everybody feels. And so here we are. We back. We back in the studio. What up, friends? What's happening, y'all? I see y'all. We back in the stew, says Dewan. Yeah, y'all was acting a little I was trying to get a lot more casual. Trying to be relatable to the people and all of that stuff. What is going on with my stuff? Oh, my link is messed. My link is tied up. Oh man, I hope that ain't no problem. We don't want to break it, do we? What happened? Oh no. I might have to take this to the shop. I don't want to try to fix this myself. Literally, this just happened. All right, I'm not going to mess with it. We just going to have to go without a watch today, but we here. What's up, y'all? How y'all feel today? It is Monday, September 8th, 2025, year of our Lord. Rough weekend, very rough weekend. In addition to seeing all of the things that was happening over the weekend with all of the crimes and people whining and complaining, my Lions lost. I wasn't happy about that. I watched the first quarter going into the second quarter, and then I decided to turn the TV off. I said, I can't take it no more. Nah, it's not broke. It's the link. It's like, I don't know how I did this, but for whatever reason, however I did it, it's like I pressed it in and it's like I messed the clasp. It's the clasp right here that I messed up. It's one of my favorite Rolexes too. No worries. We'll take it in and we'll get it addressed. But my Lions lost. I've been cleaning up some things, trying to figure some stuff out. We got some changes and some announcements that we want to make for the people that I'll continue to remind you of today. All right. But yeah, man, for the most part, my weekend was interesting. How was y'all weekend? Give me one word inside of the chat of what y'all weekend was like. Yeah, I turned the TV off, bro. Turned it off. Do I have any vintage Rolexes, says Melkor? I don't. Everything that I buy is brand new, straight from the authorized dealer. I have never bought a second hand, so I do not have any vintage joints. I like the 7719 or 1675 GMT. I like that. That's dope. That's dope. I like that. Y'all blessed. I see blessed. Go Bills. Happy Monday. Relaxed. Blessed. Busy. Work. Eags. Let's fly. Steelers pulled it off. Productive, fabulous. Go Eagles. Safe, slow, a breeze, peaceful. Your weekend was full of work. Mine was too. Reset, peaceful, trying. Busy. Had a funeral in the family that took 2 days. I feel you, Azriel. Goned all weekend. Boxolitis, sensational, productive, smooth, chill, adventurous, relaxed, peaceful, well resting, relaxed, neutral, fulfilling, still learning and earning. All right, I like that. I see y'all. Well, for me in particular, it was both productive and I don't know how to take it. I don't know how to put everything in perspective. I got a lot going on. I got so much that's going on that is keeping me busy from being able to um friendships. Friendships. Everything is friendships are interesting. I got some news that a friend of mine, a really good friend of mine, they own some other stuff. It was like, I don't know, maybe the YSL trial and stuff like that inspired people to go a different way and stuff like that. But I was having a conversation with somebody this morning, and everything is seasonal, I guess. Everything is not meant to last. Friendships. It's so ironic that I be talking about friendships and relationships and all of that other type of stuff. And then it seems like the minute that I mention it or I start to highlight certain things, that things just change. It's like change is forever. Change is infinite. Change is ever evolving, everything. And so, conversations about friendships and just deciding to go different ways. I don't know what that is. So that was a little bit rough for me, a little interesting. But life is good and things evolve and we move on and we continue to grow. And so no, it's me and C Dub is cool. What why when I talk, why when I'm introspective about my life, people automatically tie it to the internet? No, listen, me and Charleston is me and Charleston. We cool. Like it don't have 98% of the stuff that I talk about introspectively, it has nothing to do with the internet. So I don't know where y'all get that from, man. Like me and Charleston got a cool relationship. We got a good business relationship. Everything is good. Like when I talk, it don't have. I live real life in real life, and so I don't know what everybody else be on, but I'm not on the internet in that way. I don't know. I don't know nothing about that. Danza responded to CW. I don't know anything about that, bro. Yeah, life is life. In fact, Demetrius King, that's just normal. It's just normal. Anyways, let's do a little bit of housekeeping. So, some major changes, major changes to happen starting today. Starting today. So, I want y'all to pay close attention to what I'm about to say. Now that we have over 1,000 people in here, we're going to get started with the show. We got 7 subjects that we want to cover, maybe 8, depending on what time is. And we'll go from there. So, the first thing, all right, After Hours with Anton Daniels, the channel. A lot of people are familiar with the fact that I stream 3 nights a week on After Hours, all right? Listen to what I'm saying. 3 nights a week, I stream on after hours. That is going to be expanded into 4 nights a week. And it's not now the regular after hours crew, the after hours show, that is going to stay the way that it is. Monday nights on the Anton Daniels channel is now moving on to after hours. Okay, so Mondays, we are moving the Q show with me and Island Girl Q. It is now going to be on the after hours channel. And let me tell you why. All right. The after hours channel will now be somewhat of a network. All right. I'm not sure what the new name is going to be. It will be changing sometime this week. And it is no longer going to be after hours. It is going to be something else. The after hours show will exist there. The Island Girl Q show will exist there. And then an upcoming show that I cannot tell you about will exist there. And it will continue to expand and it will continue to grow. And so that is where the shows will live. All right. The Q show is going over to after hours, that channel. So the Anton Daniels channel will be all pre-recorded content. Millionaire Morning Show will stay the same. The after hours channel is changing. It is going to change rapidly. These are ideas that I've been focusing on and working on. And it is going to be expanding its footprint into the internet. And right before it hits 100,000 subscribers, starting tonight, we move into Q show there, but we are going to be moving into overdrive. And I think I'm going to introduce a new show before the year is up. And then we go from there. All right. So just giving y'all the heads up. When we live stream tonight, we're going to be streaming on after hours. We will not be streaming on the Anton Daniels channel. We will be streaming on after hours. Okay. All right. So we are expanding. We are growing. I told y'all, for those of y'all that was late night, we streamed for like 6-something hours. I think on Friday night, I was giving a lot of game on what my new ideas was and what I was focusing on and what I was working on. I cut that part of the live stream out because that's not for everybody. But we will be moving a lot of content over there. All right. So the name will be changing. You said, please add Mika. Add the Mika show. You want me to add Mika to the network? Eric Welfare says, I just want to know, is After Hours still going to be a wild show? After Hours is going to be the same show. It's going to be the same. It's going to be the same. Nothing is changing. Nothing is changing. Tuesday nights is going to be the same. Thursday nights is going to be the same. Friday nights is going to be the same. Monday is going to be the same, except for it's going to move over to the After Hours channel. And so we are expanding. We working. All right. So just wanted to give y'all an update on what y'all can expect. Make sure that you guys are subscribed to the channel. If you have things that you want to see me do, if you want specific subjects or specific type of content that you want me to cover, let me know. I am always paying attention. This is how I interact with the chat. And this is how I'm doing. Keisha says, love your hustle, AD. Always striving for bigger and better. Yeah. Courtney Yeager says, so a network of different shows under one network. That is correct. That is correct. All right. So y'all ready to get it popping? Did I have anything else that I wanted to say? After Hours is changing. No, I'm sorry. The After Hours channels is changing. Q show, we're going to be live streaming on After Hours tonight. I don't remember. I think it's something else that I wanted to announce, but I'm not going to focus on it right now. Again, make sure y'all hit a like for the algorithm, subscribe to the channel, and turn on your notifications. Jerry says the CW interview was fire. More interviews would be nice to see, AD. It's interesting that you say that, Jerry, because I will be doing a lot more interviews, but all of that pre-recorded content will be living on the Anton Daniels channel. You see where we going now? You see where we going with this? So I will be doing more work. I will be grinding more. I will be hustling more, but everything got to move around and everything got to switch up. And then we got something new coming over to to the Anton Daniels channel. All right. All right, let's get to it. Make sure y'all hit a like for the algorithm, subscribe to the channel with your notifications. I want to acknowledge the early Cash Appers and Super Chatters in the building. Seem like the more successful I become, the more difficult it is to be able to exist in a regular space, in a regular world. I don't know what that is. We'll talk about it later. Artifact, shout out to my dog Artifacts. I appreciate you. Thank you for holding me down on Cash App. You spending a big dog money. Mike, that dude in the building. I appreciate you, Mike, that dude. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Jermaine English says, you hear about Dr. Umar getting arrested. I did not hear about Dr. Umar getting arrested. Arrested for what? You can get arrested for anything, literally. You can get arrested for driving with a suspended license. I don't put too much stock in it. Are we glad it's Monday in America? Shout out to the YNs in Chicago that F around and find out. Mel, I looked at you, says, seems like you're a Rolex fan. I am a Rolex fan. I'm thinking about starting all over and getting rid of the majority of my stuff, though. Just a brown girl in America says, hey, honeys, happy Monday. Have a great international day or a great intentional day on purpose. Good morning, boss man. I hit my little 500 milestone. I know it's small, but I'm excited. Listen, all growth is good growth. Ain't no it's small. It's all big. Everything is big. Wavy says, just joined the Patreon yesterday, Marion. There's a lot of info. Shout out to your Discord for helping me with getting into tech. You're welcome. Shout out to all of the bag chasers. If you are a bag chaser or if you're not a bag chaser, make sure you tap into the Patreon. Link is in the description. The link is pinned to the top of the chat. Teach Henley, 40% off your first order, 20% off for life. All right, y'all. Let me give you all the general idea, and thank y'all, and I'm going to continue to read Super Chats. Let me give you a general idea of what we're going to cover today. So, we have to cover everything that's going on in Chicago coming afterwards. We also need to cover all of this crime, all right? It's usually a rash of crime that happens over the weekend, and so that is what we're going to cover first. Starting off with the dude that, stabbed the lady that was on the bus. That's what we're going to focus on. We're going to go into the shootouts that's happening in Houston. Women getting their faces punched off over in Chicago. And then I want to get over into the money. All right. Last but not least, after we talk about Chicago, we're gonna talk about women being disproportionately affected by layoffs and firings, jobs report, and then people deciding not to go to college and instead they are going into skilled trades. All right. So we're gonna go crime, local, Chicago and Trump, national, and then we got to get into the money. All right. So if you have not already, make sure you subscribe to the channel. Also send this to your friends and family. We don't want to be successful by ourselves. If you have not joined the Patreon and you're looking to rock out with a group of people that's going in the direction that you're going in, make sure you tap into the Patreon. Link is in the description as well as pinned to the top of the chat. This is the Millionaire Morning Show. And then last but not least, the Q Show. We are going to be streaming on the After Hours channel for the foreseeable future. Let's get to it. Y'all ready? Y'all ready? Let me read a few more super chats. Shout out to P. Shank says, good morning, Anton. Good morning, P. Shank. How are you doing, P. Shank? I appreciate you. Mr. Lot in the building for the motivation. What up, though, to the bag chasers? Shout out to Mr. Lot. And I will be doing coaching calls starting in October. That is for sure. And nobody can stop me. Question, is it bad to curse out someone for saying they feel sorry for your wife? I think that wives and children are off limits. And it is not bad to curse out somebody, but just make sure that you're not putting yourself at a disadvantage over an emotional situation. Always maintain frame and don't let it affect your day to day. You know what I'm saying? Don't get into a physical confrontation if you can avoid it. And no, it is not a bad thing because I think that women and children is off limits and family is off limits. Chris Taylor Media says, what up, Anton? First time sending a super chat. Thank you, my friend. And I made sure to put a profile picture up. You're supposed to put a profile picture up of you. That's why it's called a profile picture, but I got you. I appreciate you. Any advice for building a personal website with no portfolio as a UX designer? Well, my advice in building a personal website with no portfolio as a UX designer is not to. is to put together, because listen, you can't be out here tricking people. Can't be out here tricking people. Thank you, Molly. I'm about to read that shortly. Y'all can't be out here tricking people. So put together a portfolio of things that you've actually worked on. If you've never worked on anything before, then you don't have a portfolio to build, but you should be sourcing. Even if it's in corporate America, you should have a comparison and contrast of the things that you've changed, affected, modified, upgraded, the impact. You should be doing a deep dive into exactly how you've been working, or you should be doing smaller projects, taking on things that you're doing for free, changing them, modifying them, emphasizing your design philosophy, showing exactly what you're going to do, how you do it, how you work. And so all of your portfolio should have actual works that you've actually worked on. So that would be my advice, is to get some projects under your belt. And then as those projects continue to change and evolve, and as you get some wins under your belt, then you add those into your portfolio. Jonathan Richardson says, shout out to Anton. Your Friday show activated a focus in me I haven't felt in years. Thank you, Jonathan. I appreciate you. Nichelle, what up? Nichelle says, AD, what happened to Block Club? Can we have one this month? Block Club is going to be on Wednesday. All right, so let me tell you the real Nichelle. All right. Well, before I get into that, let me make sure I acknowledge my girl. Shout out to Molly in the building. Molly hit me off with the big dog on Cash App. Shout out to Molly. I love my Molly. All right, Nichelle. So let me just give you a little bit of insight. I don't like to talk about certain things publicly. But this Thursday, I have to go through my final whatever. I'm going to just keep it general, to make sure that everything is cool, because I've been going back and forth with the Alphabet Boys. Nope, not the ATF. Nope, not the gay community. You know what I'm saying? They said, Anton, we want to make sure all of your books is what it needs to be and everything. And so I had to make sure that everything is what it needs to be. And so I got a final meeting on Thursday, and then hopefully they can get out of my hair after that. But the IRS had to make sure that I'm working feverishly to get everything taken care of with the IRS. So that's what it is. That's what's slowing me down a little bit. But my goal is to do it hopefully Wednesday evening. All right. So when you start to make a lot of money, your biggest problem is not going to be, you're going to have two big problems. All right. Two big problems. Your first problem is going to be everything and everybody changing around you, because you're going to have to navigate spaces where people are having expectations, or they think you owe them things, or, they don't want to be a part of the program the same way that they were. So you're going to have to deal with the people that's around you. Money change is not necessarily you. Sometimes money change the people that's around you. And then you're also going to have to figure out how to get rid of as much money as possible, so that you don't have to worry about taxes to the extent that everybody else is, because everybody wants a piece of you. You know how I always tell y'all I go broke every single month? Well, this is why. All right. Make sure you guys hit a like for the algorithm. Thank you. I appreciate you, Nichelle. Make sure you guys, the black tax and the IRS, they both taxing you. You know what I'm saying? Make sure you guys hit a like for the algorithm, subscribe to the channel, and turn on your notifications. Let's get it. All right. First thing that I want to make sure that I address is what is happening in North Carolina on trains. Man, I'm going to just tell you, bro, I don't trust anybody anymore. I don't trust anybody anymore. I am afraid of y'all. And when I say y'all, I ain't talking about the bag chasers. I ain't talking about the people that's in the streets. I ain't talking about the people that I know. I'm talking about the people that I don't know, man. I am super afraid of people. I don't trust anybody. Not as far as I can throw them. I don't trust nobody at all. Not even a little bit. Not even a teeny bit. I don't trust nobody, bro. Have y'all been familiar with this? This is not something that had initially been covered on national news. This is something that I had been seeing floating around on X, formerly known as Twitter. It wasn't floating around on TikTok. You really can't find a trace of it. You're not going to really find it on Instagram because those platforms are super sensitive to graphic content. Super sensitive to graphic content. And this is why I love X, formerly known as Twitter, because we need to know what's going on in these streets. We need to know what is happening in these streets. On the streets of North Carolina, the person that you see in black, I'm going to preface this video. The person that you see in black is a woman, a Ukrainian refugee that's here, obviously getting off of work, it looks like. And the man in the red was a person that she sat in front of on a bus, unsuspectingly, looking at her phone, and he decided to brutally, and when I say brutally murder the woman. Now, listen, we can have an argument over whether or not people should be in America. We can have an argument over deportation. We can have an argument over illegal migration, who qualifies to be here, whether you should respect the flag, so on and so forth. But the one thing that I advocate for, and I'm a huge advocate for, is nobody deserves to die just because. Nobody. I don't care if you're a migrant, illegal. If you are not breaking into somebody else's house trying to take their life, if you are not trying to get a hold of a little kid, if you are not trying to take somebody involuntary man butt or something, keep your hands to yourself. Nobody deserves to just die brutally for the sake of sitting on a bus, no matter where they from, no matter who they are, what color of their skin, man or woman, female, tall, skinny, short, fat, wide, big, none of that. Nobody deserves to lose their life. And to see this type of stuff happen in the United States of America is sick. Is sick. So they asked Trump about it, and then I'm also going to present to you the actual news coverage of it. Make sure you guys hit a like for the algorithm, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications.
Horrible. No, I haven't heard. When did this happen?
It happened in August, but the video just came out.
I see. Yeah, I see the video. I'll know all about it by tomorrow morning. Thank you.
This stop is Stanley Park Station. Please exit right.
Now imagine you getting off your shift. I personally am a fan of public transportation. I think that public transportation is the gateway to financial freedom. Public safety, public transportation, great schools. Those are the three main pillars of a great community. Public transportation, public safety, and good education. All right. Got to pour into your schools, got to pour into your police officers, public safety, and you have to make sure that you allow for people to be able to get to and from safely without any kind of problems whatsoever. So when I'm in the city, I take public transportation, but I always either go to the back or the front, and then I turn and I face the rest of the crowd because I need to see what's going on around me. It's just habit. It's the way that I was taught since I was catching a Hamilton bus downtown. We used to go to the back of the bus, not to clown, but because it allowed us to be able to see every single thing that was going on around us, just in case we had to make a move. It's the way that we was taught. It's the way that I was raised. I don't sit with my back to the door when I go in a restaurant. I'm just naturally on alert 100% of the time. But that does not mean that everybody should be or have to be. It's the adaptation to what my environment was. Raised in the inner city of Detroit, you had to be situationally aware because you never know when something was going to pop off. It's messed up, though. It's messed up. It is absolutely messed up that we have to live like this. And this is the way that people are. Because think about it. You getting on the bus, it's people on the bus, it's people everywhere, right? And the wild thing to think about, if you really start to put it in perspective, is that it's danger all around you. Even when you in your car, not even just on the bus. We're using the bus as an example because this is where the crime happened. But there's danger all around you. It's people. It was a girl that was swerving in and out of her lane on my way into the studio today, and that's because she was on her phone. Most of the time when you ride a motorcycle, it's not that the motorcycle is dangerous, it's the people that surround you that's dangerous. So when you go to your motorcycle class in order to get your motorcycle license, they tell you and they teach you and they focus so much on being a defensive rider because it's danger all around you. And it almost is like you wish you were more ignorant, but at the same time, you can't put the genie back in the bottle because it's so great being a child because children don't know hate. They don't know evil. They don't know any of these things until we teach it to them. It's when we get older, we start to adopt these narratives and these philosophies that turn us into the monsters that we are today. And so when this person got on the train, they got on the train expecting to get to their destination safely. But instead, this happened. I don't trust nobody, especially when they pretending they sleep or they pretending oh, he didn't even look like, but I mean, it's not something that you just naturally just notice, right? He didn't even look like he was really, like he looked like he was just on some stuff. Before she sat down, he looked like he was on some stuff. Look. Nope. Mm-mm.
Please stand clear. Doors are closing. Train is about to move.
Got their headphones on. I tell my daughter, she said, Dad, how come you always got your headphones in, but you don't have no music playing when you're moving out and about? I said, because I want people to think I'm listening to music and that I can't hear anything, but I'm actually really paying attention. It's the honest to God truth. It's like a hearing aid. It magnifies everything that's going on around you. Most of the time I'll be walking around and I have some AirPods in, but I can hear everything. I ain't got no music playing. If I'm not on the phone, then I can hear everything. A lot of people nowadays, they just into a whole nother world. Look at it. And that's where it ended. Absolutely bludgeoned the person. Bludgeoned her. Bludgeoned her. I don't know. Oh, took out a knife. Guess they took out a knife. Let me give it to y'all from the news's perspective now. I wanted to give y'all the insight on what was going on.
And new this morning, a heinous act captured on video. I want you to warn you that this is disturbing. It is very graphic. This adds moments in a seemingly just random act. The suspect pulls out a knife and attacks her.
Heartbreaking indeed. I want to go live to CNN's chief law enforcement and intelligence analyst, John Miller, who's joining us from New York. John, what do we know, first of all, about this horrible attack and the alleged assailant?
Well, this happened back on August 22nd. The assailant, who's charged with murder in this case, is DeCarlos Brown, 34 years old. He's got 14 arrests in the Charlotte-Mecklenburg area. He just finished a 6-year stint for an armed gunpoint robbery.
Shout out to my dreadheads. Shout out to my dreadheads. I'ma just say that right away. Anton, it's not every dreadhead. I'm telling you, bro, the profile of most people that I see when I do this show or I do review videos, whether they punching chicks in Chicago, we gonna get to that a little later in the show, or they stabbing chicks on the train, they all have the same profile, bro. They all of them got a tattoo on their neck or their face. They usually a dreadhead. They got a nappy beard and they black. Now you gonna get the killer that's in Minneapolis. That's a trans that shot up the whole school. We got those two. And it doesn't mean that crime is singular only to black people or only to dreadheads. But man, when I see a dreadhead, whether it's a YN or an old school unk like this, I'm always on high alert, bro. Look, don't get mad at me. Oh, Anton, but I got dreads and I keep it nice. Cool. You probably missed an opportunity because of your brethren out here that's stabbing people. Because I'm profiling. I'm profiling like hell. I'm profiling like a mother effer, bro. I am going to profile. Absolutely. I believe that this guy who has been arrested 14, and y'all wonder why Trump's saying that we need stronger sentences, get rid of the Safety Act, no cash bail, executive order. 14 times, just got done doing a 6-year stint for a robbery. Man, he wanted to go back to jail and he didn't care. And he was looking for somebody to take out as a result of it. Some people saying that his family is coming out and acting like he had a mental disorder. No, he didn't. No, he didn't. He didn't have no mental disorder. This is what he used to living like. You think that this is his first time killing? Boy, you don't take out a knife and start stabbing people in the neck on a bus if that's your first time. That ain't your first time killing. That's either your first time getting caught or it's your first time doing it on the outside. Either it's your first time getting caught or it's your first time doing it on the outside. I seen that racist chick. It's a super racist white woman that is on, she was on Piers Morgan and she was arguing back and forth. And I think that she was on the same show that Myron Gaines was on. And she had a narrative and she had something that she wanted. Matter of fact, let me play it for you. Let me play it for you. And it's hard to be able to debate her when you see stuff like this because what we see happening, you know, I was reviewing videos of what was happening in Chicago. Let me pull her up. She went on her podcast and she just got them riled right up because, I mean, why wouldn't she?
People need to get angry about this sort of situation, and they need to start realizing this is happening, and they need to get more racist. Racism would save a lot of lives. If this girl was a little more racist, she might not have sat in front of a black guy with her back to a black guy. Girls may not date black guys if they realize when they go into the court system, it's nothing but white women bringing before the judge the brown and black perps who have battered them, abused them. They're trying to get restraining orders out against them. And those are the lucky ones, believe it or not. Those aren't the ones that were murdered by these people. So we need to get tough with ourselves and realize that this is an actual problem and not care if they call you racist, because I would rather be called racist than dead.
And look how many likes she got on it too.
I would rather be
She already got over 16,000 likes, which means that she probably got a few 100,000 views on this minimally. And I can't sit there and debate with them. How can I debate with her? I don't think you should be racist, but I definitely think that you need to profile. I don't think that you can be racist. I don't think it makes sense to be racist. I don't think you should hate somebody else because of the color of their skin or their gender or anything that they can't control. But God, as far as the rhetoric, as far as profiling, how can I disagree with her? Stereotypes is earned. It's not given. When I go outside every day, I feel a sense of obligation to be on my utmost behavior, to have a good sentiment. I bumped into a guy the other day. It was like 2 days ago. I had bumped into a guy. It was a black guy that I bumped into. And immediately he was like, "Oh, I'm sorry." I said, "Oh, excuse me, my bad." And so we were profusely apologizing to each other. And I could tell that he was a very, very, very well-spoken, just from the small interaction that we had with each other, well-spoken, nice person. Not, because, you can run into some people or step on a shoe or bump into somebody and they be ready to scrap. He wasn't like that at all. He was very apologetic, but I always feel as though I have to I'm just being honest with you. I got to overcompensate because I got to try to balance the scales from what other people that look like me perpetuate and what the narrative could be. That I have to make people, other black people, I ain't even talking about being around white people, I'm talking about being around other black people, that I have to show them that I'm a safe person to be around, because everybody is always on high alert because they are so used to running into monsters and demons on a regular basis.
And got out of jail a couple of years ago. And what we're trying to learn is more about what his encounters with law enforcement on the street have been since the time he was released from prison up until this incident.
The attack, as you know, John, has set off a political firestorm about crime in Democratic-led cities across the United States. How is this playing out?
Well, if you look at Charlotte, their crime is actually taking a dramatic turn in the right direction. Their murders down 29% as of the July numbers I read through. Aggravated assault, which would capture stabbings, shootings, and other assaults, is down 25%. So you look at Charlotte, and like many of these cities that are telling this story, their violent crime is trending in the right direction. Their property crime, burglaries, car theft, you see slight increases in, but they have a very dynamic police department there that has a combination of assertive policing, precision policing, directed patrols, but also community policing involving youth outreach for juvenile delinquency and other things. So this is not one of those cities that is asleep at the switch on crime. What this is a terribly tragic, dramatic, terrible event captured on video, which is being magnified to send a certain message.
Yeah, listen. I hear you, bro. Somebody in the chat says, Tynesha Brown. Tynesha says, we absolutely have a problem in our community. However, we do not commit crime more than any other race. This propaganda has been happening since the birth of a nation in the 1920s. Well, here's the thing, Tynesha. Any crime is bad crime, and I don't care who it's from. And so wherever there is crime committed, I think that it needs to be addressed. I think that it needs to be rooted out, that we need to have harsh penalties on people that commit crimes against humanity and other people. And I can't focus on what other people are doing. Let's assume, for the sake of conversation, Tanisha, all right? Let's assume for the sake of conversation that you're 100% right. All right. Let's assume that you're 100% right. Now, let's say that other communities commit violent crime at a much higher rate or at the same rate. Okay. And we go into the media and we say, hey, listen, and we spend 90% of our time holding ourselves accountable or holding the people accountable inside of your community that commit violent crime. And let's say hypothetically that you have worst case scenario, according to liberals and Democrats, the Trump administration sends in the National Guard and it stamps out crime in the black community. And they focus so much on stamping out crime in the black communities or communities of color, like people like to say, to where it goes to damn near zero. And that there's no crime in the black community now, and that all of the crimes is in other communities. Is that a good thing or is that a bad thing for black people? Is that a good thing or is that a bad thing for black people? Because let me tell you something. You know what you don't want to happen is for them to focus on stamping out crime in other communities while letting it perpetuate in communities that you live in. I would rather have accountability on me and mine so that we can live and operate safely in your communities than for them to focus on other people. That's almost like, think about it like this. Think about it like this. Do we want to focus on making the world safe, or do we want to focus on having our resources that we spend our tax dollars on American soil? I don't care about what's happening in other countries unless it affects the United States of America. Now, that does not mean that I want things to happen in other countries, but they need to focus on themselves, and we need to focus on holding ourselves accountable. The worst thing that you can do is to focus on what everybody else got going on in order to justify what happens within our own here in the United States of America or within inner cities. I hate the fact that we've spent so much money and trillions of dollars overseas, obviously sometimes for our own best interest because we like to go and get other people's oil and resources and mineral rights and all of that other type of stuff. However, I think we need to spend more time and more energy on making our own cities and our communities safe. I don't care about what they got going on in some other city or some other state when my own neighborhood or my own city or my own community is broken. I never got that argument why black people feel the need to try to justify the crime that happens within your own neighborhoods and communities by looking at other people and saying, but I don't like the fact that they calling us out. That don't make no sense. I can't justify the behavior of my daughter if she's doing something wrong by saying, but all of the girls do it. No, I got a different set of standards for my daughter. You understand what I'm saying? So, rest in peace to that young lady, and rest in peace for the people that are affected by this murder. But yeah, man, we need to really have a strong stance on murder and crime in our communities. And we have to make sure that we take care of our own first. America first. Make sure you guys hit a like for the algorithm, subscribe to the channel, and turn on your notifications. Let me read some of these super chats, and then we're going to move over to the next part of the show. Remember, before we get into the super chats, the Q show will be on the After Hours channel tonight. It is now permanently moving from the Anton Daniels channel to the After Hours channel. Mods, can you please put the link to the After Hours channel in the chat just in case anybody wants to check out the show tonight? I know y'all used to seeing it on the Anton Daniels channel, but again, Monday nights will now be on the After Hours channel, and the After Hours channel at some point, hopefully this week or next week or this month. We will be rebranding the whole channel itself. Same shows, new brands, new shows are being added. And then make sure y'all tap into the Patreon. Link is in the description as well as pinned to the top of the chat. Beat It Up Kool-Aid says, stop ratting. Thank you for your super chat. I'm not sure if that was for me, but I thank you for paying for that. Jacquel says, greetings and blessings, AD and family and the Bag Chasers. Great Bible study your car visiting the home of the NFL Hall of Fame in Canton, Ohio. Shout out to Canton, Ohio. Shaq Diesel 47 says, hi Anton, today is my birthday. Level 32 unlocked. Man, thank you for all of the gems that you dropped. Salute, man. At 32 years old, I was just really getting down. I was starting to catch my groove at 32. I started running it up at 32. I was already in motion, but I started really seeing some strides. Executive Suite Emily says, this is messed up, but a small part of me feels that this may be a staged event. No commotion, no real witnesses speaking. Her outfit, the blood. No, that's not staged, Executive Suite. I can't give you that one. Nichelle says, imagine seeking refuge from a war-torn country like Ukraine just to be murdered where you thought you'd be safe. Sounds crazy, don't it, Nichelle? I agree with you. Terrell says, never sit by the door seats on the train in Chicago. That's where they still snatch chains off your neck and run. I don't even wear chains. Selfmade Forever says he already has a prison record. The biggest problem is the prison system keeps releasing these monsters. If they stop releasing these dudes, this stuff wouldn't happen as much. Prison is not rehab, and they need to make prison tougher. Jay Hunter Lee says, brother AD, I've seen the left on X advocating a GoFundMe for this man. Yeah, I seen that screenshot too. I'm not sure how real that was. Shadow Dragon TV says light rails are always inhabited by the homeless, addicts, crowds of delinquent teens, and minimum police presence. They're as bad as the subways. Well, not in Detroit because the police is all up and down. They go on, they make regular checks, all of that. So I don't know if that's just other places. UK Hemi says input on Elon data center crime scene in Memphis. Equal Opportunity Smoke says, nah, disagree. I'm 26 long locks, AMP mechanic, $95K a year. You disagree with what? What do you disagree with? You think that just because you got long locks that the stereotype isn't real? You one person. And congratulations. I think that that's phenomenal. And congrats on making $95,000 a year, but that don't change nothing at all. T Dot says, Time Dog, Russian Runaway sounds like it was a hit. Nah, I don't think so. Eric Wolf Harris says, Black people are stuck in history. They ignored the current problems in the community. It's self-inflicted. Equal Opportunity Smoke says, first they don't care, now they targeting Black people. I am the prize says, some of us make too many excuses, justification, and dismissal for these crimes until they take one of our own, then we're hollering for justice. That's low IQ argument that addresses nothing. Now, I will also tell you that if that was a Black woman being murdered by a white man, then they would be absolutely in arms and people would be calling for justice. David Williams says, did you ever have anxiety or stress over asking your higher ups for more money? I got an offer for 20% more at a new place, but I want my boss to match. No, David Williams, especially when I got a bird in the hand, it makes it much easier to be able to negotiate for the bird in the bush. All right. Never, ever, ever. In order for you to negotiate for the best position, you have to be willing to leave. You have to be willing to take your ball and go home. Listen, you shouldn't be wanting them to match. You should be wanting them to exceed whatever it is that they offer. I'll give you a hint. All right. Number one, I never ever show my offer to my boss. All right. And I shouldn't even be telling y'all this because this is what we talk about on the Patreon. So make sure y'all tap into the Patreon. Link is in the description as well up into the top of the chat. Because most of the time they're going to ask to see the offer. Tell them no. But if you are asking for more money, you are going to have to be willing to leave. You are going to be willing to walk out the door and take the new offer. All right. So you should already be ready to pack up your bags and go to the new place. If they value you, then they will make sure that they try to meet the offer. But here's the key. Never, ever tell them, give them the number that you got offered the 20% more. Up it. Up it. Up it higher. Go higher. 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 So if you got $100,000 at the job that you're making, and then the new job say, hey, listen, we want to pay you $120 to come work for us. You should be asking for $140, $150 from your new job. Hey, listen. You know what? I want to sit down with you before I put in my 2 weeks. This is what you want to tell your man. I shouldn't be telling y'all this. Let's move on. Shout out to y'all. Shout out to David Williams. Congratulations, my friend. You got a good problem. Where all of the people is getting laid off, you actually got a good problem on your hands. Magnificent Gaming. I'll talk to y'all about this on the Patreon. I'm going to break it all the way down in a new, I might do a live stream to interview like a king. Did anybody study the history of dreadlocks? Has to be from negativity. Shout out to Magnificent Gaming. I appreciate you. Make sure y'all tap into the Patreon. Link is in the description. Johnny Martinez, he's so funny. Anyways, let's continue. Somebody said this should be common sense. Ken, if it was common sense, then women wouldn't be getting paid less in corporate America because they don't know how to negotiate their pay packages. Don't assume that everybody knows how to move in corporate America. And I'm going to tell you, it's different when you actually start working with big numbers. You start sweating a little bit because you're not used to it and you don't want to fumble the bag. So don't overestimate yourself. That's the fastest way to get you lowballed. Anyways, let's continue on with the show. Second thing that I want to talk about today is a smash and grab. All right. We're not going to spend any more than 10 minutes on this one. Make sure you hit a like for the algorithm, subscribe to the channel, and turn on your notifications.
It happened in seconds. This surveillance video captures what appears to be a well-choreographed attack as a car backs into Kim Hung Jewelry Friday afternoon and more than 15 people jump out of 3 vehicles. This is what it looked like inside the store.
Look at this really quickly, y'all. Look how busy the parking lot is. Look how busy the parking lot is. Middle of the day. Parking lot full. Several different cars. The one that backed in was a brand new, looked like a brand new model year, not a 2025, probably a 24, 23. Looked like either a Ford Explorer Expedition. I would guess that this is an Expedition, which you know that it's a Stoli if it is. You got a ton of people, black people, I think. I'm not sure, but I'm going to deep dive into the video. That then jumps out of cars, which means that they probably was preserving this spot for this being able to be crashed into.
As a car backs into Kim Hung Jewelry Friday afternoon.
Then you got 3 cars of people, including the one that backed into it. So 4 cars, 3 cars in a truck. All Stolies, look like mostly Nissans out there. Backing into a jewelry store. And this is out in California again, guys. Just adding the context.
And more than 15 people jump out of 3 vehicles. This is what it looked like inside the store as thieves wearing hoodies, masks, and caps smash glass cases and snatch jewelry. At one point, a suspect pushes down the 88-year-old store owner, and he cuts his feet on broken glass. His niece found him outside the store minutes later.
Oh my God, it's all blood. It's all blood.
She says her uncle.
Now, I want to make sure that I replay that because I wasn't expecting that. But I could tell when the news who is censored and has to be politically correct. Who is censored and have to be politically correct, will throw in an Easter egg or two. Again, this is what we call an Easter egg in the video game world, all right? In the real world, they put in Easter eggs. They put in Easter eggs because they can't say, hey, it was a group of black guys that ran in and robbed a store out here in California and pushed over my uncle or my grandfather or my father and left him hanging and took all of his stuff and didn't care anything about him. I was not expecting for her to say that. But Tanisha will sit here and tell me, no, Anton, this is not something that is singular to only one community. This happens abroad. When will it end, though, Tanisha? When will it end? When will it end? Where's the parents? Where's the people? How do you get 15 people together to go and rob a store? I don't even know if I can get 15 people to come together to go to Bible study. I don't care what color they are. You know how hard it is to get 15 people together? Like just a normal group. Hey, you know what? I'm going to call 15 people and we about to just go hang out. Unless you got some women there, some smokes, some drugs, some liquor, and some good music. And you better make sure that the people come correct and dress correct. And you probably got to have security. I'm not even sure that you can gather 15 people all together to go and do something good for the community. But you can get 15 people to go and put their life on the line to do a smash and grab. And they wasn't even rushing. They wasn't running. They wasn't trying to do nothing quick. They was taking a sweet time. They pushed them over. Hey, pushed him over. I don't know why he didn't have no shirt on inside of the store, but it's his store and he could not have a shirt on. Maybe he just got done taking a nap. Sometimes I take a nap and I don't have no shirt on. It just is what it is.
Was taken to the hospital where doctors also confirmed he had a stroke. He was released from the hospital today, but his niece says after 4 decades in the jewelry business, the owner is so traumatized he may never return to his business.
I don't think he's coming back. Absolutely no.
His son was also inside during the robbery and was not hurt.
This has become a regular occurrence.
Today, the family and community leaders are demanding change to crack down on smash and grabs.
This is very scary for every small business that owns a shop. And for a lot of them, this is their livelihood.
It's becoming a huge problem. It's a crime wave that's happening everywhere. We need to get that Prop 36 funding that the governor was supposed to do, and we need to have it quick.
Voters overwhelmingly approved Prop 36 in 2024. It allows felony charges and increased sentences for certain drug and theft crimes. The law went into effect in December of last year, but these community leaders say the governor needs to adequately fund the new efforts to better.
Now, you know he's not going to adequately fund a new effort. Why would he do that when he fought against Prop 36? Gavin Newsom fought against it because he wanted to keep up the original prop that allowed for criminals to continue to steal. Why would he help fund something that he doesn't agree with? Listen, if he couldn't defeat it, which he didn't defeat it, then the next best thing for him to do was not fund it. Why would he change the judges? Why would he enforce the laws? Why would he support police officers? Why would they do anything except for continue to allow for crime to happen that then creates an exodus or an environment where you got to have Trump come in and say, all right, well, we're not going to give y'all no more money for all of the stuff that y'all promised to do because y'all never executed on it. Yes, this was in Cali. This is California. Why would he support or fund something that he's against? That's never going to happen.
Protect small businesses from thieves.
We thank you.
Let me go over and show it to you from another angle. Let me show you the whole thing. At that point, he not even scared. That's messed up. At that point, he's in shock. They said that he had a heart attack or a stroke after this. You know why he's in shock? Because everything he ever worked for, he's watching other people come in like the Yakuza, and they just basically destroying everything and taking it down. Even organized crime, syndicates, the Yakuza, the mafia bosses and stuff, according to the movies and historical references, they were more organized. They were not there to put the business owners out of business. They were there to offer a service. They wanted to get paid and they wanted to control what happened in the neighborhood. And so they didn't look to put people out of business. They looked to take advantage of or go into business with people that were in the businesses, especially people that were doing unsavory things. And that then gave rise to a lot of the unions and the Teamsters and all of this stuff. And it gave rise to Vegas because they were able to leverage having a union and having union power, which also gave them a way to launder money and then also create funds that then built up Vegas and gave loans to give rise to all of these different places and stuff like that. And so they were more beneficial for the communities. I even see people sometimes saying, I wish that the mob still ran Vegas. This is just low IQ, evil, angry. The dude, he's over there. Hey, no, he wasn't even scared. He was brokenhearted. He wasn't scared. He was brokenhearted. The son is over there in the upper left-hand corner with his hands up like this. That's what his son, he got his hands up. They taking their time too. That's messed up, bro. It's messed up. It's sad. It's messed up. It's sad. It hurts my heart to see stuff like this happen. Hurts my heart to see stuff like this happen. I don't like it. I think it's bad. I think it's evil. I think it's demonic. It's unfortunate, and it's not right. It's not right. And they're not gonna protect y'all inside of y'all communities either. So all I'm telling y'all is just to be careful, be alert. I don't even know that if it's beneficial to even open up a business nowadays. It's messed up. It is. It's messed up. Make sure y'all hit a like for the algorithm, subscribe to the channel, and turn on your notifications. Let me read a couple of these super chats. Don says, Time Dog, she said blood, but those were a bunch of ninjas. Dizzy says, AD, I appreciate your consistency, but I don't get to watch live, but the restreams get me through the day. Keep up the good work. Peace be unto you. I seen some of y'all, shout out to you, I appreciate you, Dizzy. I seen some people complaining about the fact that I didn't put up, I haven't been putting up timestamps. On the last live stream, I go in and I said, what is the problem? What is the problem? They said, Anton, I'm mad that you're not putting up timestamps like you used to. I said, oh, wait a minute. What? Why are you making a big deal of that? Is that really a big deal? I need timestamps. But I was like, you know what? I'm not really sure if it makes sense. I'm not really sure if it makes sense. Anton, why doesn't it make sense? Because the numbers is up. The numbers is up. I don't know. This month it says that I made more than usual. It said that the numbers was up more than 30% than what it usually is. I said, well, maybe I'm on to something. Maybe me putting timestamps in, everything was up. Watch hours was up, views was up, subscribers was up, revenue was up for the Anton Daniels channel. I mean, for the Millionaire Morning Show channel. Literally everything is up. And so when I'm thinking about it, and I'm like, well, why would I? Maybe I shouldn't. Maybe I should leave it like it is. I had one of the best months. Literally, it was the second best month. It might have been the second best month last month than I've ever had on this show, on this channel. See, it said it. You don't believe me, do you? You don't believe me, do you? You should believe me. Here, I'll show it to you. Because y'all don't believe me. So if I put up timestamps, it's got to be... Oh, I don't know what to... Look, all right, I'll show it to you. I'm going to show you. I'm going to show you. I know you don't believe that I'm telling the truth, but I'm going to show you. Let me see if I can get it up. 30% more. 30% more than July 1st through 31st. Revenue was up 30% more in August, and it's up even more in September than it was in the months previous. And so I'm like, why am I spending extra time doing something that's not actually paying off? That's the honest to God truth. Revenue was up 30% more in August than it was in July. And now it's up probably about another 33% more than in July. Now that in September, comparable data to September. See, y'all got to understand something. Y'all got to understand something. I go by the data points. Everything that I do is based off of data. Everything that I do is based. I compare to what I did the same period the previous month to this month. And I go week by week. I go last 28 days. If I go and check out what my last 28 days, my last 30 days numbers are, it gives me the insight on what I was doing right and what I'm doing wrong and what I need to change. So I do a comparative analysis and I try to figure it out. So I might not be adding no timestamps. I'm sorry. I might not be 30% more July 1st through 31st. And then when I start to go through September, because September, now I'm doing a rolling 28 to 30 days. And I look at it as beating the last 28 to 30 days. So what am I supposed to do? So, anyways, moving on with the show. Let me go ahead and you know me, man. Listen, I'm gonna show you the receipts. I'm gonna show you why I do what I do. I'm gonna show you the receipts. You are 100% right. ABJ's Rise and Smooth. Watch the whole stream or watch the clips. One or the other. One or the other. One or the other. Anyways, make sure y'all hit a like for the algorithm, subscribe to the channel, and turn on your notifications. 392Q says, as soon as that glass broke, it would have been on and popping. He didn't know. He ain't even had no shirt on. He didn't know. He didn't even have no shirt on. You know what I'm saying? He didn't know what to do. Let me go ahead and get to the next part of the show. A shootout in Houston. We only going to spend 10 minutes on this. And then we're going to move over into what's happening in Chicago, all right? Because they on the radar. Shootout in Houston. This is what happened.
Right here, this is where the first two shots were fired.
Showing us the bullet holes at his home.
These are the two they shot towards our direction.
Willie Jones still feels violated.
They're real scary.
Last month, at around 2 a.m., two suspects showed up to Willie's home in southwest Fort Worth, armed and with special technology used to steal cars. The suspect removes the car's side window.
I didn't even know that I thought that they just bust out the windows. I guess it makes sense to remove the car side window because you don't make as much noise. They got the motion light on. They're able to remove whole windows now. They taking out the whole window with new technology. That means that they investing in themselves. They're investing in themselves. They now have technology that allows for them to quickly remove the whole car window. I didn't even know that you can do that. What is wrong with y'all? Why are y'all so good at theft? Why are y'all so good at stealing? Why are y'all so good at theft and stealing? Why is this even a thing? This is in Houston. This is in Fort Worth. Okay, I want to make sure that y'all understand where this is at. I'm sorry, not Houston. The Dallas-Fort Worth area. Not Houston. The Dallas-Fort Worth area. All right?
Then the suspect climbed into the driver's seat.
My spotlight was on and everything, but they didn't care.
That's a nice neighborhood. Look at his neighborhood. Watch this.
Climbed into the driver's seat.
My spotlight.
Look at that neighborhood. Look how big that house is over there. That looks like a nice neighborhood. All brick homes, huge roofs, look like 2-3-story homes. Got a nice black man. He lived to see whatever age he is. He got a perfectly lined up afro, full head of hair. That's a hardworking man that is trying to live his life and just chill and relax and have a good time. He ain't bothering nobody. He ain't bothering nobody. This man is trying to relax and chill. And now you got people stealing his cars, taking out his windows inside of his nice neighborhood.
Was on and everything, but they didn't care.
Willie and his son got the alert from their home camera, so they came out An attempted car theft turned into a gun battle.
I said, oh, I told my son, hey, back up, back up.
It's time to go at that point. It's time to go. Let me go ahead and listen. I love the fact that this gentleman is defending his home. I love the fact that, oh wow, my link just popped. Oh no, it ain't. It's still the same. Oh yeah, it did pop back out. I love the fact that this older gentleman is able to defend his home and he don't have any problems or anything like that as far as willingness to let him fly. I love the fact that Texas allows for you to carry and defend your home and defend your property. I like the fact that they're able to do that. But for me and mine, it's time to move, bro. It's time to go. Whenever I got to be woken up in the middle of the night with bang, bang, it's time to go. I don't care how big the houses are. I don't hear, unless it's now, if it's a domestic violence situation, I'm inclined to stay. Because then that means if I hear some beating up and some people, furniture moving, that sound like a personal issue that don't have nothing to do with the crime that's in the area. Domestic violence disputes are different. But if this is, we having a shootout back and forth and they willing to shoot, bang, bang, even after they tried to steal my car, then that's a bigger problem that we got on our hands. That means that it's time to move. Y'all know when y'all go and see these properties, all right? I know y'all like to move around. I know y'all like to buy homes, get high interest rates, pay the bank for over 30 years, possibly get your home foreclosed on, pay high property taxes. I know that that's what y'all like. So when y'all go and buy these homes, I want to make sure that y'all know that y'all are supposed to be going and visiting these places several different nights of the week at night, preferably somewhere around the 9, 10, 11, 12 o'clock time, 1-ish sometimes if you can sneak it in on the weekends. You want to go and ride around the neighborhood around that time of the night multiple different times. Do your due diligence. That is a part of the due diligence because you need to know what happens at night inside of that neighborhood. Are people riding around with the full shiesty mask on? Are they out there stealing cars? Do you hear a lot of police sirens? Do you just so happen to hear a bang, bang a couple different times? That'll tell you whether or not you want to raise your children in that neighborhood and make a capital investment. The home that you buy and the place that you live in is one of the biggest investments that you ever make in your entire life. That's the second biggest investment that you ever going to make. Maybe the third. It's probably the third big. No, I take it back. It's the third biggest investment that you'll ever make in your life. The home and the place that you live in, it'll probably be the most money that you ever spend. Not the cars, not the clothes, not none of that. It's going to be the home. What's the second biggest investment that you ever going to make? The career path that you decide to take. Some people are still paying interest on their loans. They're going to pay 100 times more, and then they're going to die on their student loans. What's the first biggest investment that you're going to ever make? The person that you lay next to. The person that you lay next to. Oh my gosh. The first biggest investment that you're going to make is the person that you lay next to. The second biggest investment that you're going to make is how you earn in yourself. And the third biggest thing that you're probably going to spend money on is your home. And so you got to be very careful. Y'all can't just take this lightly. You got to be careful.
When the suspect fired, Willie shot back.
I decided to fire the 2 shots in the air and let them know that I have a weapon over here.
That sent the suspects rushing back to their white Camaro.
They were still shooting as they were running.
The suspects sped off. No one was hurt.
You could have easily been hit.
Yes.
What do you say to people who say, you have insurance, just let them go?
They coming in my yard, on my property, trying to get my vehicle.
That's why insurance is so high. That's why insurance is so high, because you got insurance, just let them go. No. Somebody got to die. If I go, you got to go. Somebody got to die. Let the gunshots blow. Somebody got to die. You're not going to come on my property without leaving with all of your limbs and your arteries is working. Somebody got to go to the hospital. Somebody got to get arrested in the hospital. You can't just keep on breaking into my stuff and thinking that it's cool. You can't do that. That's not cool. It's not kosher. It don't make sense to me. That's why insurance is so high, because people keep saying, "Oh, it's just insurance. It's not worth taking a life." You and I got a different philosophy when it comes to that.
Protecting my property. Yes. And that's
Lennox Logic says, I don't usually address people with no profile pictures because I firmly believe that they jack off in their socks. Honest to God, I do believe people with no profile pictures are the type of people that jack off in their socks. He says, Anton talks big and runs. Facts. I'm all on camera, running everywhere. All on camera. On all of the body cams, on all of the Ring cameras, I just run. Oh my God, I'm running. Oh my God, I'm running. Anton is proactive. Anton makes sure that he doesn't live in the same neighborhood as you. Lennox Logic 1997. I just don't live where hood boogers are. I could leave my door open for the whole week, cars unlocked, nothing happens to it. I'm able and I'm blessed to be able to be in environments where I don't have to worry about such nonsense. I don't interact with hood boogers like that. Lennox Logic 1997. What a hell of a name. Hell of a screen name, buddy. It's not about being tough. This is what black people black culture. Let me revise that. This is what black culture don't understand. You defending your property is not about being tough. You making sure that you make smart decisions is not about being tough. You get it now? Y'all, Lennox Logic, the internet thug, Lennox Logic, think that it's conducive for you to bust it open, bust. It's not. If anybody steps on your property or anybody breaks into your property, you as a man, as a individual, not a tough one, but just a logical person, should be in a position to ensure that your family, your property, and your things is safe. I didn't know that was a tough thing. I thought that women should be able to go to the shooting range, and that, yes, my wife has her CPL and she is at the shooting range, and I ensure that she knows how to defend herself, and that, she is in a position that if anything was to ever happen and I wasn't there, hopefully everything goes in her favor. I didn't know that was a tough thing. I thought that was just being an American right. I thought that was just being a American and a human that wants the best for your people and don't want anything to happen to your daughter, and you want to keep your stuff safe, and you don't think that anybody should be taking your stuff from you. I didn't know that. Anton, the one that says move and run to a new neighborhood. Yes, be proactive. You know why? Because I have a daughter and I have a life to live. Self-preservation. You first be proactive, but if need be, then you defend. I don't know anybody that wants to deal with crime. And you know what the interesting part about it is? Let me show y'all something. Let me tell you something. It's always and see, this is why they call you lame. You the person that give us a bad name. Us citizens that love happiness and peace and safety, you give it a bad name because you're the type of person that talks tough with a name like Lennox Logic 1997 and you're sitting, you should be on the same page as me. Hey, man, we don't want no problems. Make sure we keep our community safe, get away from the YNs, and keep it moving. This is why they call us lame. It's not that we're lame. It's people like you, internet thugs, that talk so tough with no profile picture, subscribed into my chat, and you are giving off the wrong impression as though you are tough, and you are not. And I will tell you that it's the people that talk the toughest on the internet that say what they would and wouldn't do to somebody that really is the ones that wouldn't bust a grape in a fruit fight, wouldn't bust a water balloon. If I was to ever do something, why would I tell you on the internet? You give us a bad name because it's the people like you that perpetuate a narrative, and then that's why they call us lame. It's not because we lame because we smart. We lame because you, Linux Logic 1997 on the internet with no profile picture and a teal background, likes to talk tough, and you try to make it seem like we should be tougher than we really are, when in reality, we shouldn't have to do that because we pay taxes and we ensure that the police officers and public safety is fully funded. It's you, it's y'all. It's the lames like you that give us a bad name. What makes you lame is Linux Logic likes to talk tough and try to put this narrative on other people, but I'm not going to fall for it. You know why? Because I'm a citizen. Because I am a person that do not believe in violence in my community. I do believe in going where you appreciate it instead of where you tolerate it. You are, my friend, the lame. You are the real lame. You are the person, the pocket protector crew that should be protecting your pockets, but instead you're talking tough on the internet while you subscribe to my channel. Talking tough in your phone.
That's my right.
You see, Willie says he's had enough.
Fed up, big time.
He says this is the third time thieves have targeted his vehicles. Last year, the family's Camaro was stolen and never recovered. This time, they didn't get away with the car, but the suspects are still on the run. In Fort Worth, I'm Adriana De Alba.
Yeah, I think that everybody should be protected in their home. I advocate for, I don't know what the laws are in y'all cities and in y'all states, but I'm a huge advocate for making sure that you are in a position to protect yourself and your property. And I think that all of these guys that are out here stealing and putting their hands on other people's stuff, they should be held accountable. I hope they get the hardest sentence possible and that they never able to put their hands on other people's property again. Make sure you guys tap into the Patreon. Link is in the description. Teach Henley, 40% off your first order, 20% off for life. And shout out to Linux Logic 1997. Yeah. Silverback says the government needs to try and recruit the YNs to be spies, FBI, etc. They wouldn't be able to do their job right. As much as they love to end people, sneak and scheme, and still it should be easy. It should be an easy gig for them. David Williams, shout out to David Williams, says, yo, Ton, how much I gotta pay for the rest of the advice? I gotta have that sit down with my boss in 2.5 hours, and I'm a bag chaser, by the way. Just if you're not willing to leave, then just tell them the actual price that you got it. If you are willing to walk away for a better opportunity, then tell them that the price is significantly more, and you'll be surprised at the fact that they do have a budget to match it. If you're a trash employee and you want a PIP, then that's a whole nother conversation. But, you know, it's so many other factors that go into it. Just be willing to, you got to be willing to walk away, and you got to be able to sign that offer if they don't match it. All right. You can't call a bluff and not be able to walk away. That's really all it is for you right now. That's all I'm going to say. Miss Sheila in the building says, salute to you. I so appreciate your comment, your content. Thank you, Miss Sheila. I appreciate you. Malik Kwali says, F the hood. Been in it most of my life. It's overrated BS and dumb YNs made it hot. That's a fact, bro. You get so tired of the nonsense. You get so tired of the trash that you be like, man, I'm ready to go. Ain't nobody still trying to subject myself to this. All right, let's continue on with the show. So, Trump is defending possibly sending troops and a threat to send troops to Chicago. Check it out.
Tonight, President Trump taking in the U.S. Open men's final as a guest of Rolex, receiving both cheers and boos from the stadium crowd. Fans frustrated by delays getting through security. The president taking a quick trip to New York after defending his plan to send the military into Chicago. And after sharing this AI image Saturday, saying Chicago about to find out why it's called the Department of War. Illinois Governor J.B. Pritzker calling him a wannabe dictator and accusing him of threatening to go to war with the nation's third largest city.
Are you threatening to go to war with Chicago?
You say that, darling. That's fake news.
Well, why would
I
you
don't
the
go to
Department
war.
of Defense?
Listen, we're not going to war. We're going to clean up our cities. We're going to clean them up so they don't kill 5 people every weekend. That's not war. That's common sense.
I don't understand why the media is more obsessed with rhetoric than they are with actually solving for crimes in your community. This is how you know that media monetizes your crime. CNN, MSNBC, even Fox News to an extent, they all spew narratives and they are more concerned with getting sound bites than they are actually doing real journalism and discovery because it's more profitable to do so. And so because they are called, and actually it's so funny because the Department of War, it harkens back to a time where it was named that way prior to, I believe it was World War II, where it actually changed into the Defense Department, Department of Defense, right? And so instead of being on the defensive, then it's going to be on the offensive. And so now it is called the Department of War. And so it could be a war on anything. It could be a war on crime. It could be a war on Americans. It could be war on anything. But changing it into the Department of War and taking on a city in order to ensure that it is safe, it is much different than actually going to war with people. If anything, I believe that the Trump administration should let them eat themselves. I think he should let Chicago have itself. Fix your own problems. Stop asking for money. And learn how to budget effectively and stop monetizing crime so that you can start to get more money, more things done from a business perspective. Oh, you wasn't familiar with that? You wasn't familiar with that? And I had this conversation with y'all all weekend. I had it all last weekend. The way that they make money off of crime is because they don't want it to be crime free, because then they wouldn't be able to get more money from the federal government for special programs in order to have community involvement, in which they then funnel money through these programs. 95% of it goes to administrative costs. Even Big U, right? I think he was a Crip or something like that. Did y'all know that he was getting money? He was making so much money from the actual federal government, from crime prevention programs. That never should have happened. It never should have happened. Why are thugs, convicts, people that's been in the streets, why are they getting paychecks from the federal government in order to have community prevention programs? What is this? What is this? They're not stopping crime. They're not negotiating with gangs. They're using it to launder money. Let's just be clear. Let's be absolutely clear. They're using it to balance their budget and to launder money. They have, for my entire lifetime and beyond, always said that they were going to stop crime in the community. They're going to lower crime. 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 Well, if over my 43 years they've been lowering crime, then it should be non-existent, right? If over my 43 years on this earth, they were supposed to have been lowering crime and fighting crime the entire time, that means it should be done then. After 43 years, we should literally be done with murders in the communities. No? Bro, 43 years from now, you know what they're going to be saying? But we got the numbers now. It's still going to be 5-10 people dying every single day, but we got the numbers now. How have y'all been lowering crime for the entire time, but it's more than it's ever been in our history. Per capita. Per 100,000 people. We lowering it. We lowering it. We keep lowering it. We fighting it. And then the next person going to come in and say, but you know what? It went up under the last person, but we lowering it. We lowering it. Hey, can I get another $1 billion? Can I get another $500 million? Can I get another $800 million? Can I get some more? Being a politician is being a beggar. You know what they told me? I asked, I'm not going to say who, but I asked somebody, right? And I said, listen, what is it that you guys actually do? And he said, you want to know the truth? I said, yeah. He said, we have to figure out how to raise money and how to ask for money. Building relationships is figuring out how to raise money. I said, raise money for what? Campaigning so you can continue to keep your seat. And then asking for what? Oh, we got to ask for money so that we can continue to plug the budget deficit and then start some new programs. I said, that's what being a politician is? Yeah, I said, I couldn't do it. I couldn't do it. I couldn't do it. I could not do it. So y'all beg for money on both sides. You beg from the federal government, and then you beg for the people. You beg to stay in office and raise campaign funds and build this war chest so that politics is the only place where you can spend $1.5 billion on a campaign to make $500,000 a year. Think about that for a second. The Kamala Harris campaign allegedly spent between $1.3 and $1.5 billion so that they can take a job to where they make $500,000 a year. It's the only place that you can get away with this level of scheming. Mayors, governors, congresspeople who continue to get rich. Shout out to, what's her name, Ilhan Omar. You get rich by being a public servant, but at the same time, you have to raise money to keep your seat. Dr. Umar Johnson went into the wrong field. He should have went into, I don't even know if he's a real doctor. Umar Johnson went into the wrong field. The way he begged, he should have been a politician. He should have never, ever tried to even scam people. Let me not say scam. He should have never, ever tried to get the community behind him. When it came to building a school, he should have just became a politician. The way that some of y'all beg, please hit me. Hit me off with the money, the moolah, $500 dinner. I don't even blame Umar Johnson for being a sex worker. I don't blame him for being a sex worker. I don't blame him for asking black women to pay him $500 so he can take them to dinner with their own money. Because how is that any different than your local politician that is asking you to pay $1,000, $10,000 for a fundraising dinner? How is that any different than your local politician saying, hey, listen, we have a fundraiser, such and such is coming into town. Can you please make a $10,000 donation and we can make sure that we get you a seat at the table? And you don't even get no sucky after that. You just get a hot butt. You got to wait in line, get a photo op, might get a favor in your pocket, and you get a hot butt. Thank you. Thank you for inviting me to give you money. Y'all, all these peace and Pan-Africanism, all of y'all are in the wrong business. Y'all should have became politics instead of sex workers begging black women for money. That's why they keep on bigging up y'all ego. Black queens forever, snow bunnies never. Yeah.
Them up so they don't kill 5 people every weekend. That's not war. That's common sense.
Others, including protesters, criticizing the deployment.
It hurts to see service members that I consider brothers and sisters.
Somebody said, what is a hot butt? Because you be having all them dress clothes on. Y'all ain't never been to no community outreach or dinner or event, inauguration. You have on all of them clothes, and usually it's in the wintertime, right? So you have on all of them clothes, and so you got a hot butt. Because you got to have on all of these layers. You got on a suit, if you got on a tuxedo, and then you got on an undershirt under that, and then you might have on some suspenders, and you got on them socks and them shoes, and then you got to wear a big coat on it. You got to leave with a hot butt. I ain't never been to an event, a high-end event. Everybody got on all of these clothes. Women have to switch their shoes at the end of the night because their feet hurt. Then they be waving their fan in front of each other. Anytime you go to an event where you got to dress up with multiple different layers, you leave with a hot butt.
Nice against my community.
Still, the Trump administration ramping up.
Women got to make sure that they don't eat too much because you had to zip them up in the back and they don't know how to get out of their dress. Yeah, hot butt.
Focus on immigration.
Hold on.
Nice against my community.
Still, the Trump administration.
I see you, baby. That's the type of police that they recruiting over there on the left. They think like that. Standing around being thickums.
Ramping up its.
That's way different than the Tasmanian devils we were seeing the other day, ain't it? All right, okay. Long hair don't care. Sticking out, poking out in the khakis. I see you.
Focus on immigration. Federal officials saying today
they've
begun a new operation in Massachusetts after immigration officials earlier this year made arrests in Boston.
We have a search warrant for the whole site.
Meanwhile, today, South Korean officials said more than 300 South Korean workers detained during a massive immigration raid on a Hyundai facility in Georgia will be returned to the country on a chartered flight. The raid was the largest single-site enforcement operation in Homeland Security history, with DHS saying they arrested 475 workers.
Yamiche is joining us now from the White House. And Yamiche, a top administration official now says more new immigration action could come within days, right?
That's right. Today, Tom Homan, the president's border czar, said Chicago and most sanctuary cities should absolutely expect to see federal forces brought in this week, and that using the National Guard is on the table. Hallie?
Let me go ahead and look at it from a different perspective. Always got to give it to you from both angles, not just one angle, but from the other one.
President Trump indicating that he will make a decision soon about tackling crime in Chicago as he touts the progress federal troops have made in D.C.
Fox correspondent Madeline Rivera joins us live in Washington with all the details. Hi, Maddie.
Good morning, Carly and Todd. The president has been threatening to take action in Chicago for weeks now, even as he downplays a post he made over the weekend about the Windy City. That post said in part, Chicago about to find out why it's called the Department of War, referring to the name change for the Defense Department. President Trump says, though, what he meant was he wants to clean up the city, calling that common sense, not war.
We could solve Chicago very quickly, but we're going to make a decision as to where we go over the next day or two. When you look at what happened to D.C. in a short period of time, honestly, it's amazing. Over a period of 12 days, in other words, on the 12th day, we had the crime just about solved. And right now, people are walking out, they're going out right now to restaurants all over D.C.
Protesters took to the streets of Chicago over the weekend, rallying against federal intervention. It comes as the community braces for more immigration enforcement. Border czar Tom Homan says they're specifically eyeing sanctuary cities.
You can expect action in most sanctuary cities across the country. President Trump's prioritized sanctuary cities because sanctuary cities knowingly release illegal alien public safety threats to the streets every day. That's where the problem is. We don't have that problem in Florida.
Illinois Governor J.B. Pritzker says he has not gotten a heads up from the White House about enforcement action. Homan suggests Pritzker should know what to expect, saying ICE agents have been flooding the zone in Chicago for some time now. Carly and Todd.
Madeline Rivera, thank you. With that, let us bring in political commentator Cameron Kinsey. Cameron, I still can't get over Democrat.
Cameron got all the lipstick. You know how them girls be doing, where they be Do it all the way up here to make their lips be thicker. I see you, Cameron.
Leaders and the people who voted for them, as you saw in that video there, in Illinois, choosing crime over protection. How do you see this week playing out in the Windy City?
Well, thank you so much for having me on. After Trump's crime crackdown on D.C., we should note that the city's crime rate is now at a 30-year low. These protests in Chicago are just a testament to the delusion of the Democrats right now. Chicago has been the poster child for violent crime for years, so much so that it coined the nickname Chirac. The left would rather be pro-crime than support common sense solutions because they suffer from Trump derangement syndrome. But luckily, this is the minority. 81% of Americans see crime as a major problem in large cities, according to a new AP poll. And President Trump is doing everything in his executive authority to restore law and order in America's greatest cities that unfortunately have declined under Democrat leadership. And this is the exact type of solutions-oriented action that the people voted for last November.
They be getting them lip fillers anyway, too. So don't think that that's not a thing also. They get all of that junk work done. They get lip fillers, they get laser hair removal, they get all of that. Anyways, Trump administration need to hurry up and go ahead and I'm actually a little bit more reserved about it. Do I want or do I think that the Trump administration needs to go into Chicago to make sure that he stops crime? That would probably be best. Do I actually want him to stop crime? I'm not really sure. Do you know somebody called me the F word on the internet this weekend? It said Anton. Or is it Antoine? Yeah, because I don't like you. I don't like you. You and Officer Tatum, y'all must be part of the boule. Y'all part of the boule. What'd you have to do to get to the position that you in? You just popped up on the internet within the last 1 or 2 years, and ain't nobody in the streets been seeing you in the Chicago area. Then all of a sudden, you popped up with the boule, and you got the nerve to speak on Chicago. One of them old school dudes, look like he about 60, 50, 58, 60. I don't like it. I don't like it. Don't speak on Chicago. Don't speak on Chicago. I said, whoa. Whoa, not an old school thug. Let me see if I can find that video. I don't know if it's been removed, if it's still up or what. He said, don't you speak on Chicago. I said, oh my God, I'm so scared. I don't want to say anything because I don't want the old school 60-year-olds to start creating YouTube channels to start getting at me now. You know what I'm saying? I don't want that to happen. Somebody sent it to me in my email. I don't even know if it's still up. Let me see if he got it up. Let me see if it's still up. Carmelo Anthony Hall of Fame speech. Dwight Howard Hall of Fame speech. I thought it was up. Is it gone? Is it gone? He must have took it down. Why y'all taking stuff down? Listen, stand on what you said and say what you mean what you say. Stand on what you said. I can't believe Anton Daniels decided that he wants to say anything about Chicago. Aw. Guess it's gone now. Let me see. What makes him think that he could say something about my city? I guess it's gone now. I guess he took it down. Aw, I was looking forward to showing y'all that. giving them some visibility, showing you what the people think about me. All right, let me see if I'm able to find it this way. I guess he removed it. Oh, well. I guess he thought otherwise. He said, you know what? I was going to put it up and I was going to leave it up, but now I'm deciding that I want to take it down and I don't want to leave that up. Dang, y'all had a change of heart. I guess that's a good thing. It's not necessarily a bad thing. Anyways, make sure y'all hit a like for the algorithm, subscribe to the channel, and turn on your notifications. Let me read some of these super chats, and then we'll move on with the show. Shout out to Love Curly Hair in the building. What up, Curly Hair? Says, hello, AD. I really want to learn AI other than YouTube. What else do you suggest for your information? I'm older than you may take me longer to learn. Thank you. Hello, AD. I really want to learn AI. Did you watch the Patreon video that I had on AI? I did a live stream. It was a little long. I think it was longer than an hour. So if you didn't watch the live stream, I actually got another Patreon live stream on AI coming up. So there's people that build whole applications. I show people it's really prompt. You have to learn how to prompt effectively. And it's going to take a capital investment because AI can be expensive a little bit. Manny Plays PC says, I thought a hot butt was someone who runs to the bathroom a lot. That could be a hot butt too. Or it could be like, you know how your grandmother used to tell the girls, you just a little hot in the pants, girl. It could be something like that. Jason 18 says, Carmelo Anthony's Hall of Fame speech was one of the best Hall of Fame speeches I've ever heard. Wish he won a championship because that would have been awesome. Yeah, it was pretty good. Shout out to my dog, Elevate to the Unknown, says, I'm trying to be like Anton and make over 2K a day on just one of his channels. Brother Anton, I got the daily lives going. Yeah, boy. Yeah. Yeah. Oh, man. My daughter trying to get me to call her out of school. Leslie.
Just leave your name, number, student's name, and a brief message. I will return your call as soon as possible. Thank you and have a great day.
Record your message at the tone. When you are finished, hang up or press pound for more options.
Hi, this is Anton Daniels. I am the father of Leslie Daniels, and she has an appointment today, and I was looking to get her out as of right now. So if you need to get back in contact with me, you can contact me at and I would like to have her released. Thank you. Have a good day. All right. Let me see. Let me text her back real quick. Then we continue on with the show. Attendance. Office message. All right. Y'all ready to go on with the show? Make sure I hit a like for the algorithm. Magnetar says, I love you too. Hold on, let me call her. See what's going on.
Your call has been forwarded to.
Something she can't answer because she in class. I love you too. Look, you're gonna have to learn how to snitch like me. Feds, we up. Snitches and cornballs. Holla, Bills Mafia, we here. What up to y'all? What up to Magnetar? I appreciate you. Thank you for tapping in. And for those of you, didn't school just start? Yeah, listen, I got a different type of daughter. We kind of move on our own time. I got a different type of child. We move on our own time. I will tell you this. I won't say that. The Q show tonight, ladies and gentlemen. The Q show is moving over to the After Hours channel. We're going to be doing a Q show on the After Hours channel. All right. It's not going to live on the Anton Daniels channel anymore. It's going to live on the After Hours channel. So make sure that y'all tuned in tonight. And that's going to be awesome. I don't know. I mean, it is what it is. You know what I'm saying? She does what she wants to do. We do what we want to do. It is what it is. Let's get back into the show. What are we talking about right now? We got to talk about this. Y'all punching people in the face again in Chicago? It's not good. It's not good. It's not good. I don't like it. I don't like it. I don't like it. Y'all are punching people in the face in Chicago. Multiple women are getting punched in the face, and they have the culprit. So before we get to the culprit, all right, because I actually haven't even, let me see if they show the culprit on the cover photo. Let me see. Give me a second. Up! I want y'all to tell me, all right, because I'm so tempted to go to the second video first. I'm very tempted to go to the second video first. Before we get to women getting randomly attacked in Chicago and punched their lights out by somebody, don't sit here and tell me that stereotypes aren't real. Don't sit here and tell me that stereotypes aren't real. Listen, I know y'all want to keep fighting the good fight and y'all keep on advocating and saying, oh, no, Anton, man, no, bro. Everybody that's doing it, they not really out here having dreads. Listen, all I can go by is what I see. All I can go by is what I see. Don't be surprised if you get less than stellar service or people don't want to sit you down at the restaurant, or they start to look at you crooked, or they just keep staring at you and they never turn their back at you if you just so happen to have this look. Don't be surprised. Don't be surprised. Don't be surprised. Let's start with the first story. We're going to come back to this one. Yeah. I'm stereotyping. For all next year and the rest of this year, I'm stereotyping.
Only works downtown 1 day a week. Today, she's still suffering the consequences of that random attack. But it is what she found out about the person who prosecutors say did it that has led her to speak out.
He hit me with such force.
Sitting at home in Lake Villa today, Kathy Miles admits the last thing she remembers before her attack on August the 19th is walking past Block 37 in the Loop on their way to the Union Station.
I woke up and my coworker was standing above me saying, "You're okay, we're in the hospital, you've been assaulted."
She then passed out again.
The next thing I remember is my daughter Deanna saying, "Hi Mama, I'm here, you're okay."
And while she doesn't remember what happened, a colleague who was walking with her at the time told her this.
She had said this man came in between the two of us, shoved us apart, and then hit me in the face.
That punch left Miles with several broken bones in her face, as well as a concussion. According to police, she was assaulted by 32-year-old William Livingston. A record search produced 13 mugshots of Livingston going back to 2012. A large number of those arrests for aggravated assault and battery of both women and police officers, something Miles found out after the fact.
Like, what is enough? You know, what does someone have to do where he's going to be, they're going to be held accountable?
According to online records, Livingston's history of random acts of violence against women goes back 8 years. In 2017, he was accused of randomly attacking 2 women months apart.
I just want to mention that he has evolved. He has evolved over the years. He has evolved. It wasn't always like
where
this.
He's going to be, they're going to be held accountable.
According to online records, Livingston's history of random acts of violence against women goes back 8 years. In 2017, he was accused of randomly attacking 2 women months apart. Both cases were dropped.
Got a hell of a lawyer. Or maybe we just need to get with the legal system in Chicago. Let's continue.
In 2022, Livingston was sentenced to 5 years in prison after prosecutors said he punched and attempted to rob 4 women.
So, when I see overly aggressive, angry people with no profile picture in my chat, talking tough to me, it's the people that like to punch women. It's the people that like to punch and rob women. Now, I can't even hold women accountable anymore for saying that they don't want to smile in public. They so scared. They scared. I think it's weird for men to tell women to smile in public in the first place. I just think it's weird to tell a woman that you don't know to smile, then she got to say. I think it's weird. I don't even know you well enough to smile. You know, somebody in the super chat asked Kim on After Hours the other day to smile. And I read all super chats, but it was so weird because it was like, then she was like, and it's like, that's the weirdest request ever. I wish somebody would tell my daughter or my chick to smile. Like, nigga, who is you? Nigga, you smile. That is one of the weirdest things that I ever heard somebody say. Like, smile. Hey, smile, baby girl. And people be thinking that junk is cool. Like, no, that's not cool. Thank you, Steve Johnson. What do you mean smile? What does that mean? For what? Why? To make you feel comfortable? I don't even know you. I didn't even say nothing to you. I don't know you. What you mean smile? Nigga, who is you? Tell your mama to smile. Punching on women. These are the type of guys that I think are the ones that talk so tough inside of the chat. This is them. This is them. This is him. That's what they say, Maria? Really? Dog. I think when I hear people say that, I'll be thinking to myself, man, that's a scary person. You might get punched in Chicago. Look at this guy.
Within 20 minutes in the loop. And yet, just 14 months
look how he's evolved. So I know you're full of trauma. You grew your hair out, you cut your mustache and your beard at the same time. You grew your hair out, you cut your mustache and your beard at the same time. It's scary. It's just scary. All of these are signs of trauma.
Later, in 2000,
arrested for hitting a woman while on parole.
In 23, while on parole, Livingston was arrested for hitting a woman in the face on North Michigan Avenue. And in 2024, he
punches a 15-year-old.
Sentenced to 100 days in prison after punching a 15-year-old girl, also on North Michigan Avenue.
I'm not going to let someone speak for me.
Somebody needs to get this dude off the street, bro. Permanently. And now look at him. He's full-blown older YN. Fully blown. He's evolved. He's a Pokemon. He's definitely a Pokemon. You're right, Chet. He's evolved. He's evolved. And this is the type of guy that y'all going to take home to mama. Girl, he's so nice. He's reformed. He's not the same. He's not the same. I got me a strong black man. You ain't going to take him to home to daddy because daddy going to spot him immediately. Going to take him home to mama. Girl, I got me look. I got me a strong black man. He for the black community. He pro-black. He's for the black. He ain't going to tell you about all of the 37 women he done punched over his lifetime. What kind of fetish is that? You like punching women randomly in the daytime?
Now to a CBS News Chicago investigation. 2 women randomly attacked, violently punched while just walking in Lincoln Park and the Loop.
Accusing the same man of attacking them and other women as well. CBS News Chicago investigator Dave Savini has been digging into his history, and he joins us now.
Joe and Erica, I spoke to 2 women today about the long record of their accused attacker, how we found for the last decade he repeatedly got arrested, prosecuted, had short or reduced sentences, and cases dropped. A revolving door that enabled him to be free to attack over and over again. You'll never forget that guy's face?
No. His eyes, his face, they're seared into my memory.
Ann Kearse says she identified this man, William Livingston, to police in a lineup after she was attacked in June in her Lincoln Park neighborhood.
You said Chisha says telling one to smile is not offensive. It is an old school term to make someone feel good about themselves. No, it's not. It's the thing that you used to tell your kids after you gave them a whooping and you told them to put a smile on your face before you go out there and you tell them strangers. That's the thing. That's what it is. It's not an old school term to make people feel good about themselves. No woman feels good about themselves in history from a stranger telling him to smile. Because it's not like they saying it as a term of endearment. They're not saying, oh, you so beautiful. Oh, man, I wish I could see your smile. They're not saying it like that. They saying, oh, girl, you so bad. Why you got a bad smile? That's why they saying it. It's the thing you used to tell your kids after they got done getting the whooping to smile before you go back out there with the rest of the people, and you better have a good attitude too. That's what it is. It's that type of endearment. I don't know what they taught you. I don't know who told you that. That is never, ever, ever how people feel. And it's 2025. Y'all better get with the times.
Along this stretch of Clark Street while she walked to a dental appointment.
He stood about this far from me and punched me and then kept walking north up the street.
Kearse says she suffered a neck injury and concussion.
It really hurt. I remember sitting in the emergency room and just like crying because it hurt so bad. And I was still so scared.
She hoped to hear from Chicago police about an arrest, but months went by. And then last week, she saw her accused attacker's face again, all over the news for another attack.
I saw his picture on the TV. And I had been fine, and then I just started crying because it was really unexpected to see him on the TV.
In the last year alone, she is the fourth person to accuse Livingston of a physical attack. He was arrested 3 other times for striking 2 women and a 15-year-old girl. Random attacks for simply trying to walk down the street from River North to here in the Loop. The police reports we uncovered about those arrests show Livingston is accused of whipping a random woman, then just days later, injuring the teen by elbowing her in the face.
Whipping a random woman. These are the type of monsters that y'all letting out. Because this ain't even, listen, I'm not going to blame this on Chicago people. I'm going to blame this on the Chicago system. Because it's no way that this dude should be walking around on the street after whipping random teenagers. He got a fetish for putting his hands on people, on women. You pulled your belt out and you whipped a random woman and then you elbowed one in the face right after that? Yeah, bro. For the system to continue to let this dude out and go free, you can't rehabilitate this guy. It's over. It's over. For the system to allow for this guy to walk the
CBS
streets
News
is crazy
Chicago
to me.
investigators found the 32-year-old has been arrested 20 times dating back to 2012.
He broke my face. He hit me with so much force.
Kathleen Miles is his latest victim. Livingston is charged in her case. He's accused of blindsiding her last month, knocking her out cold.
I was on my way to the train station.
And came out of nowhere.
Out of nowhere. I have a break. It's just above where my jaw sets in.
We told her about Ann Kearse's attack and how she identified the same man 2 months earlier.
He has not been charged in her case, even though she picked him out of a lineup. And it was before.
Yo, what's wrong with the judicial system in Chicago? What is going? Is that all right? Is the whole city broke? And when I say broke, I'm saying broken, not like just broke financially. Because we know that Chicago is broke financially. We know that their budget deficit is crazy. We know that they begging the Trump administration and the federal, the local governments. We know that they broke financially, but is it broken? Is everything in Chicago broke? The politicians, y'all got 50 aldermen. You don't own your streets. The judicial system don't even protect women. Y'all advocate for the alphabet community and y'all spend hundreds of millions and billions of dollars on the illegal migrants. Is everything broken in Chicago? Is everything broken in Chicago? And Illinois with the Safety Act? Bro, over 20 arrests? Over 20 arrests? 20. Not 2, 20 arrests. And he's still walking the street punching people with no consequences. That's why he felt like he can just keep doing stuff. He keep punching people. Good God. That's crazy. How, bro? How?
For you.
That is appalling to me.
Both women now share the same concerning questions.
Why isn't the system keeping this guy off the streets? Why do I have to be in this neighborhood and be afraid?
It makes me wonder that because there's no consequence for any of this type of behavior, that now it is getting bigger and worse.
In 2022, Livingston was given his longest sentence, 5 years in prison, but court records show he served less than 2 years.
Make sure y'all hit a like for the algorithm, subscribe to the channel, and turn on your notifications. Make sure y'all hit a like for the algorithm, subscribe to the channel, and turn on your notifications. Why is that still up? Let me see something. There we go. Y'all not safe out here in these streets, lady. Equal Opportunity Smoke says, D, us lock ninjas Can't beat the allegations. Yeah, y'all on that one. Mr. Lot says One Punch Man running crazy out there, but the YN's keeping the smoke for Trump. Yeah, they ain't nobody trying to stop no black crime, bro. Mr. Lot also says, when a dude tell a chick to smile, all I think about is the Scarface song. Smile for me. That was my song. That's my song. Nichelle says, if a dude looking like Chi-Town's finest YN asks me to smile, I'm smiling ear to ear. You see her eye? Facts. You got to do what you got to do to get safe. Manny Plays, PC says, and now we know why crime is down in Chicago. Even when victims point out the person, Chicago lets them go anyway. I don't know how we got here. I genuinely don't know how we got here, bro. I want to go into this conversation. A couple more things that I want to tackle before we get up out of here. I want to go into this conversation, and it's the first one is because we got to start talking about the money now, obviously. The first one is about school because there's so many people. I just did a couple weeks ago the conversation about the Howard students, and the Howard women and the Howard students were complaining because they had balances and they wanted to hurry up and get more student loans. And it's just so crazy to me that there's so many people that are complaining about student loans, yet there's so many people trying to take out student loans. And I've also heard that a part of the big, beautiful bill was a limiting on the amount that you can take out depending on what kind of curriculum that you go into. So if you are going for a STEM field, or if you're trying to be a surgeon or a doctor or something like that, then you have the ability to take out more. Whereas if you are just going for a basic liberal arts underwater basket weaving degree, then you have a limit on how much you can take out, which I said that should have been like that from the very beginning. But people are starting to choose trades more than they are traditional college careers. Let's deep dive into it.
Is instead embarking on a new career. Some of them snagging entry-level jobs to the tune of $70,000 a year after foregoing the traditional education route to learn new skills in a unique trade program. Jeff Flock has our story.
Shop class is back and bigger than ever. I just want to know, how many people applied to college also? Anybody? That's the welding program at Father Judge, a selective enrollment all-boys Catholic high school in Philadelphia, where graduates who choose the trades are in such demand they're pretty much guaranteed a job.
You can make money right out of high school, set up with a job. Most people, they go to college, they get a degree, and they can't even find a job.
Everybody brags about going to like this college, and all I see is debt and loss of money.
As opposed,
look at guys making smart decisions. Now, don't get me wrong, fellas. Don't get me wrong, young gentlemen. You will be looking on TikTok as you make a ton of money and open up your businesses and be able to provide for your family and never have layoffs, and will always have a skill set that allows for you to not be replaced, because AI cannot replace these jobs that these guys are going to. You're going to need carpenters. You know, when my carpenter, which also doubles as a general construction guy, he hangs the cabinets. He does the pillars that hold up the porch roof, the roofing over the porch. He does all kind of stuff. He makes sure he does all of the borders around the bottom of the house and everything like that. When I talk to different contractors, a lot of times they have to put me on the back burner. I haven't gotten my siding done on a house that the lady moved out of, and so I've been having other things being done while they put me on the back burner, because they had to schedule me out further, and in the window people had to schedule me out further and all of this other type of stuff. And I ask them a lot of times, and I say, so what's going on? What's happening? The excavator, the guy to do a lot of the excavating for me, and he works for me on the excavating. He said, man, Anton, I'm gonna be honest with you, bro. It's hard to find good people. It's hard to find good people. Most people want to sit in an office. I went to the register of deeds because I had to change some deeds over, and I put them in trust and all of that other type of stuff today, earlier this morning at 8:30 this morning. And I go out there and I look in the office, and it's all women that works in the county building. It was one guy, one white guy. He was missing all of this right here. One white guy and all women. They were the notaries. They were the registers of deeds. They were all of this stuff. And that's what you largely seen in the federal government. And we're going to get to women in jobs shortly. But nobody actually wants to work. And that is where the jobs are. Even men, even guys. It's so funny. If you tell them, hey, man, listen, you down and out? I seen one guy talking to one guy. Hey, man, you down and out, man? Hey, come get a job with me over here at Amazon. They just opened up a new facility up here. You can go up here. You can come up here and work. Oh, man, I got to work at Amazon. I thought you said you was broke and you ain't have no money. I thought you said you needed a job. Then your parole officer said you needed a job. They'll hire you right away. Man, I don't want to do that. Man, listen, I'm telling you, most people don't want, it's jobs. Most people don't want to do the jobs that are available, or they don't want to have to do the hard jobs, right? They don't want to be the lineman. They don't want to get the skilled trades. They don't want to have to lay the flooring. They don't want to do that. And see, I thought that y'all wanted diversity, equity, and inclusion. Y'all don't want to be included, ladies, on these type of jobs? Y'all don't want to be included on these type of jobs? No, you want to be able to sit up in the government office and chill. You want to do administrative work, but you want to make $200,000 a year doing it. You want to make $200,000 a year doing administrative work. This is what they want. Honest to God, this is what they want. Or I'll do you one better. If you get a man that makes a decent amount of money, if his position is not the same, so if he says, hey, listen, I do this job, they don't really necessarily care about the job. They care about your title. Women care about titles. Men care about money. I told y'all that the other day. I think I was on After Hours or something like that. Women care about jobs and titles. Men care about money. We don't care about no goddamn title. I don't care what you want to label me. Just don't label me broke. Give me whatever job title you want. Sam Roths always says Sam Rothstein should have took the food and beverage job, but he was in his femininity. Nikki was right on that one. One of the rare things that Nikki was right on is casino. You could have took the food and beverage. That's when they was arguing out there in the desert, and he didn't know if he was going to come back because he didn't know if it was a hole that had been dug for him. You could have should have took the food and beverage job. I said, well, yeah, Nikki got a point on that one. He was wrong on the rest of that argument, but he was definitely right on the food and beverage job. You could have took the food and beverage job and still ran a casino, but no, you wanted to be Mr. Big Shot. You wanted to get in your femininity, and you decided that you wanted to get a title.
Goes to a good job with a pretty impressive income. Can I ask how much money you're making?
I'm making $30 an hour.
Adam Ashburn graduated from the program last year and immediately joined two classmates at DC Fabricators in New Jersey. They're welding submarine parts for the Navy.
I have a head start on life. I got a job already. I have no college debt.
What are you doing right there?
So I'm tightening up the caliper bolts.
Caden Rivera is a junior in the automotive part of the program.
This sets me up for a good job right out of high school.
Do you like working on cars?
I love it. I could do it for the rest of my life.
And now the program is expanding beyond welding and automotive to heating and air conditioning, with all the latest equipment to teach the next generation of HVAC techs so that they're ready to work right out of high school. On the day we visited, 2024 program graduate Joe Seeger was back at his old school, fixing a broken AC unit for Elliott Lewis, the Philadelphia company that hired him right after graduation.
I could have gone to college, but I thought this was my best option.
I feel like with automotive, welding, HVAC, they have a tangible skill that they can take anywhere.
Good money, no debt, and AI-proof skills that can be put to all sorts of uses.
A lot of people, they hate their jobs, but they go for the money. When you're passionate and love something and you get paid a lot of money to do it, can't go wrong.
It is estimated that 12 million people across the country are enrolled in programs like the one at Father Judge that give them a shot at a great career and a well-paying job that doesn't require college.
But let them tell you, you know what? Men are falling behind because they're not enrolled in these liberal arts programs and I don't see them on the college campuses. No, that's not true. Guess what? If you pull up the data, you pull up the statistics, you pull up the layoffs. Listen, I told y'all. I said, listen, women are disproportionately more affected during times where you have a recession or you have layoffs or there's not a lot of jobs to be had. Women are disproportionately affected because what they realize is as we innovate, we don't need the jobs that they are necessarily doing because they used to fill the roles and the gaps where men were doing the majority of the hard work. That's just the facts. Now that more men are in their femininity, and there are a lot of men in their femininity, they don't even want to do the same things that women do. I know men that can't even change a tire. Have them changing brake pads. Then he want to automatically start driving. No, man, you got to bleed the brakes, big dog. You don't want to be out there trying to slam on the brakes. You got to bleed the brakes, big dog. They don't know nothing about that. Transmission fluid. They don't know nothing about that. Yo, big dog, you can only put water in there. You know what I'm saying? The radiator goes out. Don't put water in the radiator in the wintertime. It's going to crack your block, big dog. Don't do it. They don't know nothing. They don't know nothing. Sitting there pandering, turning their fingernails. Can't call you for nothing. Men in their femininity, women in their emotions. Don't nobody want to do no work. Now everybody complaining. You know what? She just going to retire. Can't do nothing. Can't do nothing. Can't even change brake pads, let alone change a tire.
Shannon?
All right, Jeff Black, thank you very much. So, an alternative path. Now, that's something that Dirty Jobs host Mike Rowe has spent his career spotlighting. Americans who've built a fulfilling and often lucrative career without a college degree. Now, as more and more young people, like those at Father Judge, follow his lead, he says our nation is going to be better for it. So you've been in the middle of all these really important conversations about people rethinking automatically you graduate high school, you go to college.
Facts, Audrey.
Maybe you consider going to the military, but you've really wanted Americans to know there are other options.
College is a wonderful opportunity. I have a 4-year degree. It served me well. But the idea that the most expensive path is the best path, certainly the idea that it's the best path for the most people, that's something that my foundation has been pushing back on for 17 years. The headlines have truly caught up with the message of MicroWorks, which is consider a skill that's in demand, master that skill, and then go to work. It still pays off, and I can prove it.
Yeah, and in some ways it really...
Billy says $40,000 a year is peanuts now. Is it? A person coming out of school? Because see, most people that come out of school, they not making no money. They actually taking on student loan debt in order to maintain their lifestyle. They're getting paid to learn. They're coming out entry level. They are going to make a lot more money as they grow in their career, and they can get overtime. And plus, they already ahead of the curve because they making on average what most Americans are already making. I don't understand how y'all think that that's peanuts. You stay home, you don't run out and get a place of your own. You keep working, you stack up your bread, you buy your crib, you do group economics, you don't go and do something that you're not supposed to do. You ahead of the curve. What more you want from them? What more you want from them? I think they're doing phenomenal. It's better than being out here knocking over people in Chicago and with a switch in your hand trying to rob people.
Really pays off. We're not talking about scraping by on minimum wage. For families or people who aspire to have a family or they just want to have a comfortable life, there are ways to do that without going to college.
It started with Dirty Jobs. That was an entertaining show, but it was also a top-down look at 350 different vocations that most people never really think about. And the crazy thing about that show, Shannon, is that we featured accidentally probably 40 or 45 multimillionaires. But these were people who got up early, stayed late, built a small business, usually around a single skill that they had mastered: plumbing, HVAC, electric, welding, what have you, and built something real out of it. It's a version of the American dream that we don't.
Listen, bro. Listen. I'm going to be real with y'all. The problem with people is that they are so busy trying to keep up with the Joneses instead of running your race. Bro, I don't even believe that most people should be on Instagram until after you at least 22, 23 years old. I know that that's crazy. Anton is out of the loop. Everybody gonna be on it. I get it. I don't even think so, because you're gonna be comparing yourself to people that you shouldn't even be focused on. You should be running your own race, running your own path, and not focusing on what everybody else is doing. I'm telling you, I genuinely don't even believe that most people should be on Instagram until after they in their 20s, because you focusing on stuff you ain't even supposed to be focusing on. You getting distracted. I wouldn't even join social media. This is a fact, and I say this all the time. When Instagram first came out, even when TikTok and all of that came out, I wasn't on it. Everybody else jumped on the wave. Anton, you getting on it? You got to build your followers up. You got to do this and that. I said, no, I'm good. Thank you for the Cash App. I'm going to read that shortly. I said, no, I'm good. Why you good? Why you not jumping on it? I said, what purpose does it serve? How does it make me if it don't make me some more money, I can't do it. Once I started blowing up as a content creator, then I started to embrace it more, because it was an extension of what it was that I was doing on YouTube. But I didn't care about social media. I had videos literally talking about how I hated social media. Literally, there are videos of me on my Anton Daniels channel. It's still up. I hate social media. No, I didn't say I wasn't on it because I didn't know how to make money on it. I said that I wasn't on it because it served no purpose. And if it wasn't no money from it, then I wasn't in it to be a Instagram star. I didn't want to be a TikTok star. The only reason that I jumped on those platforms is because it was people that was already creating profiles of me. And so I might as well have created one so people will actually know where the official account is. But if it wasn't to promote a business, or if it wasn't to bring more visibility so that I can make more money, which I was more concerned about corporate America and investing in my businesses outside of the internet as far as the visibility. Visibility is a newer thing, bro. Honestly. It is. It's a newer thing, bro. Visibility, it's changed. People used to get on the internet to have fun. You know what I'm saying? Maybe find a chick or two or whatever, as far as like that's in your town or in college, or, you know, in an extension of whatever it is that you had got going on. Keep in touch with your college peers, friends, family, and all of that stuff. And it's turned into people doing story times about how they getting divorced, and people telling all of their business and saying that they want to kill the president. I'm like, what is this? It's great for content. Don't get me wrong. I'm not complaining about it, because it's phenomenal for content as far as me being able to look at the craziness. But I'm like, I don't understand. What are y'all on here for? People will be on there telling on themselves. YNs putting guns up after they did robberies. Like, what are y'all doing? Is this a part of the play? Was this a part of the game? Taking pictures with other people's cars. So it's different, bro. It is. It's a different time for me. Let me, I want to acknowledge somebody. Shout out to everybody on PayPal, looking out for me on PayPal. Also, I appreciate y'all. Annie Marie Lewis says, for the #1 morning show and host. Thank you, Annie Marie. I appreciate you. Eric Williams says, what's good? And Anton, did you hear about one of the Minnesota Timberwolves players' sisters got killed by her boyfriend this morning? No, I didn't hear about that one. Tiff says, AD, I'm a Shaq content creator. All right. With 200,000 plus in lifestyle and beauty, and I aim to go into politics and honest reporting. Young and driven. Can I speak truth now without losing a corporate bag, or must I wait until I'm rich? You don't have to wait until you're rich. You have to. All right. So here's the thing. You can get into it now, but usually when you get into these type of spheres, you're going to have a strong opinion about something. You want to do it, but you don't want to do it to the point to where it affects what you got going on at your job. So Here's the problem. Tiff, is that your job starts to intersect. People at your job know what you do. Now, I'll give you an example. One of the things that kind of saved me, both at Comerica Bank and Flagstar Bank, when I worked at both of those, I retired from Comerica Bank and then I went over to Flagstar Bank and stuff like that. One of the things that saved me is that I worked with a bunch of Indians. Was that I'm being honest with you. I'm being absolutely honest. One of the things that really saved me, which they knew about my social media profile, but my content had really started to become matter of fact. So I was already there. One of the things that kind of helped me get a bigger bag was the fact that I worked with all Indian people, and I just didn't hit the algorithm of Indians. Couple of them wind up rocking out, finding me. It was a couple different girls, and it was like, Anton, I seen you on YouTube. I did not know. And I was like, yeah, let's keep that on the low. You went viral. I said, let's keep that on the low, though. Let's keep that on the low. I don't think it would have affected me, but I just didn't need that level of visibility. So the people at my job never knew anything. Even when I went to the second one, when I unretired and I went back to corporate America, most of the people knew nothing about my social media profile. So it was a little different for me. But here's the general advice that I will give you. Work it until you can sustain, until you're making more than what you're making at your regular job, and then keep working it. Don't quit your regular job. Why do I say that? Because you want to make sure that it's for real, right? That's number one. Number two, you want to work your regular job until you can't work it no more. But when you get it to the point to where you're able to actually sustain yourself and make more than you were making at your regular job, you don't care if you get caught no more. You don't care if people find out, because it doesn't matter whether or not you still have that job or not. So as long as that's the bag, make sure you're doing the bag stuff, but censor yourself to where you don't start getting targeted, or you could lose your job as a result of the things that you're saying on social media, and never intersect the two. Don't do a story time, especially if you start talking wild of where you work at. Don't do it with your work uniform on. Don't do none of that stuff. Protect the bag. Get all of them. Get all of the bags. Get everything. If I can get a corporate bag right now, which I'm going to get one next year, because we're going to get this corporate sponsorship game popping off. Get all of the bags. Get every dollar. Every dollar. Get every single dollar. But get it to the point to where it doesn't matter whether or not you know. Send me an email. We'll figure it out, or DM me. Coach, shout out to Coach. Coach says, trades are skills to pay your bills. Also, the easiest way to become an independent contractor as well, and set your price. I love good contractors, bro. I'll pay them anything that they ask for practically. Trades were considered as middle-class work. Yeah, trades will get you rich. YSL says, no, ma'am, says bring trades back to junior high and high schools. They already at the high school that my daughter is at. Equal Opportunity Smoke says getting my A&P license was the best decision ever. Mika says, what up, though? Hola, AD in chat. Everyone's have a blessed week. What up, Mika? People keep telling me, Anton, you got to bring Mika's show over to after hours. Yeah, that's true. But see, the problem is that I'm trying to figure out how to work that, because I don't want to hinder Mika's individual success by having her show on after hours. I'm trying to figure out what that looks like. And then I don't want to overwork her. Honestly, you know what? I'm about to go into this black woman thing. It's so much more difficult trying to figure out black women in general are difficult to maneuver around, because you got to kind of treat them with kid gloves. Like, I could work a guy. They don't care. Yo, hey, man, I want all the work I could do. But women, you got to kind of take it, because you don't want them to lose that shape. You know what I'm saying? You don't want them to show up with bags under their eyes, so you only stream 2 or 3 days a week. Women, you got to kind of keep with kid gloves. So I'm trying to figure that out. I'm working through it. I'm on her. I'm on her. As my Mika. I got a network station. What up, Artac? First live streaming catch. I appreciate you. Well, you're in for a treat because we're about to go into women losing their jobs because women are disproportionately affected, specifically black women, and they've been doing numerous different reports on multiple different channels. Check it out.
They have no idea how I feel. It's just horrible. It's horrible.
Quay Crowner calls herself a career vet, having worked in federal jobs for over 3 decades. But at 55 years old, while employed by the Department of Education.
So how did you find out you were being let go?
An email.
And she's not alone. The latest jobs numbers revealing there were 319,000 fewer black women employed in July versus February.
What went through your mind when you realized that it's been many black women affected by jobs losses?
I saw the headlines, but I felt it first, and it was a conversation amongst my colleagues.
Since February, the rate of unemployment for black women rising by almost a percentage point, while the unemployment rate for everyone over 20 is staying flat and even declining for white and Hispanic women. The unemployment rate for black men also jumping.
The losses that have occurred over the first half of this year have disproportionately been borne by black women.
Valerie Ralston Wilson is director of the program on race, ethnicity, and the economy at the Economic Policy Institute. She says the Trump administration slashing jobs across federal agencies is having an impact.
We're cutting down the size of government. We have to. We're bloated. We're sloppy.
We know that black women are about 12% of the federal workforce, which I believe is about double their share in the workforce overall. So losses in that sector, you would expect to have a larger impact.
Ashley says, why is it just on black women? Well, it's not on just black women, but black women are the ones that are being disproportionately affected by government jobs because historically, they do not seek private sector jobs more than they seek government jobs. And let me tell you why, Ashley. I'm going to give you the game, all right? This is what happens. This is a cycle. And this is why, I'm just going to be real. This isn't targeted towards black women. This is the articles that's being presented, right? This is how it happens. Women have long championed the idea that they have degrees and men, specifically black men, are being left behind and they not educated. I did a video last week where a woman said, I will not talk to a man that don't have a bachelor's degree. She ain't say nothing about whether or not he got money, his own business, if he got good character. She ain't say none of that, right? I've also done shows where women have said that men are being left behind based off of education because when they go into these classrooms, it's disproportionately women on campuses getting indoctrinated by the plantation of Democrats and liberals more than men. Well, here's the other side of that though, right? Is that all of these women took out student loans. So I don't see men on the apps like this. Oh my God, I can't believe it. Trump is requiring student loans. Men ain't saying that. You know what men are saying? And that's messed up. You know what else was happening? They wasn't going into STEM field programs disproportionately. They were going into liberal arts, basic stuff, marketing, business, regular stuff, right? And so while they were getting these underwater basket weaving degrees in African American studies, they were always able to get a job for the federal government. And the reason why this is specifically about black women is because they labeled themselves as double minorities. Double minorities had greater opportunities in the federal government, considering that they were trying to keep the jobs report high and disproportionately saying that, hey, listen, jobs are still plentiful because they were subsidizing women going into these fields in the federal government. It did two things. It gave them a security blanket, and it also gave them an opportunity to forgive their student loans once they went on an income-based repayment plan. So it didn't matter how many student loans that they took out. You don't think that they knew what their student loan balance was going to be? They were looking for it to be forgiven until you no longer had that option. So you can go and borrow as much money from the federal government as you want because they knew that they was going to go on an income-based repayment plan for the next 10 years, that they would still be able to live their life, go to Tulum, tell guys that they're not worthy of talking to them, and then get their student loans forgiven like they actually paid them off. That was the play. For decades, for years. That has been the play. To leverage diversity, equity, and inclusion to get into positions and then get your student loans forgiven and have a career in which you were never affected by what was going on with layoffs. But now that we realize that the majority of those jobs were not needed and we needed to right-size the government instead of allowing for it to become more bloated so that other people can have jobs instead of them adding value. And if you were so valuable, then that means that you wouldn't have any problem with all of your experience and education with going to get a job in the private sector. That's not happening. It's not happening. Again, because they were subsidized by the federal government, which is one of the reasons why they voted the way that they voted. It's no coincidence why Biden made a part of his campaign the first go round the idea that he would forgive student loans, a handout. That he would forgive student loans, a handout. What do you mean you're going to forgive student loans? You mean you ain't got to work for nothing? You could just forgive it? That's just the end of it? So what happens to the next generation of people? They can get theirs forgiven too? That's just the way that we go? Just get your student loans forgiven, huh? The Democrat Party keeps people voting for them by promising them things that taxpayers at large have to pay for. It's a cycle. It's a cycle. They wanted equal, but they never wanted to do the work that actually allowed for them to consider themselves equals. The linemen, the police officers, the firefighters, all of these type of jobs, the real jobs that keep America going, the electricians, the plumbers, you don't see a lot of women in those fields. Even when it comes to corporate America and leveling up, a lot of women expect to come off of paternity leave, or they expect to come from having their children and then waiting till their children are old enough to be able to go to school full time 5, 6, 7 years later. And then they want to jump back into corporate America and say equal work for equal pay. But most men don't have a break, maybe when they get laid off, but in a general sense, most men don't have a break between the time that they started working at 16, 17, 18 years old, all the way up until the time that they either die or retire, depending on which field of study that they go to. Very few men from the time, because see, we always like to talk about, well, men die earlier than women. We don't take a break. From the time that we open up our eyes, it's go time. All the way up until the time that we lay down. Every day for the rest of our lives. From the time that we step off the porch to the time that we close our eyes, we work for our entire lives. There is no breaks. Ever. Monday through Sunday, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365 days in a year. We don't miss because we can't afford to, because life is unforgiving for us. We didn't at large get any government benefits, food stamps, welfare, Section 8, diversity, equity, and inclusion, education, student loan forgiveness, working for public institutions and universities. We didn't do none of that. You know what we do? Sink or swim. Either you go homeless or you grind and you hustle. Either you get all of the accolades or you get thrown out of the mud. And that's natural. That's the true version. What you see today is the true version of natural selection. The only difference is that now we've added women into the equation. So where natural selection used to be based off of the greatest men get the spoils of war, meaning that the ones that go out and kill the most and get all of the meat, hunter-gatherer, the ones that get all of the success that comes along with all of the spoils of war, you got all of the women, you got all of the money, you got all of the accolades, history wrote your names in the books, and you had all of the kids. You had your pick of the litter. Now we're so focused on overcorrecting and equalizing everything because you wanted to invade in the men's spaces. But when we went back to hunter-gatherer, whereas Trump didn't basically establish that it's merit-based and not based off of diversity, equity, and inclusion, you don't get a job just from being black. You don't get a job just from being a woman. This is what you're seeing happening. And now more women are going back to traditional family values and roles and saying, well, you know what? I don't mind working, but I don't want to have to work. I'm looking for a provider male. Notice that when Kevin Samuels was around, it was, I want a man on my level. Now it's, I want to be in my soft girl era. And it's because you have a natural correction in the marketplace. And it's being showed not only in our jobs, but it's also being showed in our daily lives. Women are more homeless than ever. I got 1,000 homeless videos and I'm about to do a reaction to women living in their cars. Oh my God. The begging economy is booming on social media. The begging economy is booming on social media. SNAP benefits cut. Welfare cut. Section 8, you got to work 20 hours a week or volunteer or go to school. Oh, man, the begging economy is booming. You know, I didn't mean to do this. This is my last resort. If I could get all 1,000 of my followers to send me $1, I could make my rent this month. Oh, my God. Begging economy is booming. It's on 10. You know what Kevin called this? He called it winter. Winter is coming. Winter is coming. Listen, no matter what you think and what you say, there will always be, and when I say always, I mean always, there will always be a correction in the marketplace. Real estate, housing, stock market, .com bubble burst, relationships. It's the natural order of things. And no matter how far you get away from it, you always got to come back to it. And you can complain about it or you can adjust and make sure that you win. You could be a winner or you could be a loser. It's up to you. 320,000 black women is not going back to work, has not been able to find jobs, and has not been able to compete. And this is not singular, this is black women, this is the market overall. But what they like to say is that when the world catches a cold, black people catch the flu. You know what I said in 2008? Not me again. Not ever. Not me, not ever. My biggest problem is going to be, and this is what I said, and this is what I declared to myself, and I declare that every man, every single man should declare this for themselves because it absolutely kept me on my path and my pivot. Every single man should declare this for themselves. My biggest problem will be that I make so much money that I'm going to be trying to figure out how to get rid of it instead of not making enough money to figure out how it is that I can learn to live a lifestyle. I'm going to be in abundance, an abundance mindset. Shout out to the bag chasers. Link is in the description as well as pinned to the top of the chat. I'm never going to adjust to try to make sure that I can live a certain lifestyle. I'm going to make more money because I'm committed to the lifestyle that I'm already living, that I'm already on the path for. That's my declaration. I don't sit there and say, oh man, I'm going to have to pare it down. I say, how can I make more money so that I can afford to do what I want to do? Oh, I got to make some more investments. Okay, well, long-term vision, execution, this is how we going to move. My declaration was for success. And when everybody else suffered, I was going to be walking around with bags of money. I said, God, I learned the lesson the first time. You'll never catch me slipping again. They'll never catch me slipping again. 08 is going to be the last time. Next time, I'm going to be ready. And I'm going to capitalize off of the market. 08 was the last time. Next time, I'm going to be ready. When everybody was getting all with they big with their britches during the pandemic, oh man, we going to be living this life forever. We never going back to work. I said, are y'all crazy? Are y'all smoking crack? Why are y'all buying houses way out there where it's away from your job? Why you moved out of town? I know a woman, true story. True story. I know a woman that moved way out of town, was working remote, moved way out of town, And I mean to a whole nother state. And I said to Rita, I said, well, why would they do that? Because if they ever call them back into the office, what they gonna do? They had to take the buyout, quit their job. It's hard out here for a pimp now. They had to take the buyout because they couldn't get back. They had already committed to whatever it is that they was doing. It's hard out here for them now. Almost every single thing that I predicted, from the Florida real estate market to what was happening in California with their real estate market, to what's happening in the market as far as people going back to work, to working from home, to how the economy is going, to the interest rates, to how you need to be moving, to what you should be investing in, to the explosion of certain companies. Been talking about it for years and years and years. But I told people, I said, listen, it's not going to happen overnight. It's going to happen over a period of time. And then I'm going to come back and I'm going to say that I told you so. You may not necessarily want to heed what I'm telling you now, but I'm going to tell you I told you so. And the people that made the investment or was smart or made the adjustment and paid attention and start making moves so that they can capitalize off of what was going on, they're the ones that benefited from it. Happens every time. And I still do it because every prediction that I make is to ensure that we are successful 5 to 10 years from now. So I evaluate what's going on and I make adjustments. Facts, Sabrina, 100%. And I'm going to preach it to the mountaintops, and those that have ears, let them hear. Said if you're in your 40s, 08 was make or break. But I was 26. I wasn't in my 40s. I was 26 years old. I had a new child, a newborn baby, born February 2008, and I was in Detroit, the hardest hit market in the United States of America. So every day was make or break. Every day it was living on the edge. Every day it was hustle. Went out and I hustled for 16, 17 hours every single day. I hustled so hard that my feet was hurting every day. Come home, get my feet rubbed to try to get the aches and the pains out of it, and I would fall asleep. I wake up the next day and get to it. And it was no stopping, Monday through Sunday. It was never stopping. I said, I got to get this bag. I got to get this bag. Got to get this bag. Common sense says the job market affects everyone, not just black people. Okay, so what's your point? Run your race. Run your race. So what you talking about? What they got to do with anything? What you trying to equalize? What you trying to make sure that you sympathize and embrace how the job market is affecting black people? Boy, run your race. Run your race. Comparing myself to nobody else, I'm running my race. What you talking about? The job market affects more than just black people. No kidding, Sherlock. Run your race. What you so worried about what everybody else is doing? You think I'm worried about? I'm not comparing myself to people that's getting deported. You know why? Because that's not my plight. I'm running my race. I got my own race to run. I'm not worried about what everybody else is doing. Jose and Jesus over there, they got bigger problems that they got to deal with right now. That ain't my race. I'm running my race. Sounds like a personal problem. Maybe one day they going to come back over here and say, look at this, because you had a leg up. You got dog right. I got a leg up, and I ran my race. Worried about what nobody else is talking about. Sound like a personal problem. Hi, D says, what's up, baby girl? Says, make an announcement under the community tab from the AD channel about the changes to the. Yeah, I am. I'm gonna do it once I set up the Once I set up the live stream, then I'm going to put it on the community tab. I got you. Thank you, Al. I appreciate you, Allie. Courtney Smith says, and the percentage of women finessing their way into relationships because of the layoffs have shot up too. That's why fellas got to be careful. Carrington Love Jr. says, I'm glad Trump reduced entitlements. I've been getting a lot of respect around here. From the girls that receive SNAP and the upper middle floozies that buy it from them. Listen, we don't talk to chicks that need SNAP. They got bigger problems that they need to fix in their life before they can get in our sphere. You know what I'm saying? All right, y'all, listen. Great show, great Monday. We in the mix. We in the building again. After hours tonight. The Q show is moving to after hours from the Anton Daniels channel. And we getting it in. We getting it. I don't talk to people that got eagles on their profile photo. You only get one acknowledgement from me per month. One acknowledgement per month. If you don't have a real profile photo, then I think that you jerk off in your socks. You get one acknowledgement from me per month, and then we go from there. So you wasted your acknowledgement. You got to wait till October before you talk to me again. You know what I'm saying? Oh, yeah. Listen, stay focused. Get on that bag. Make that money. Don't let the money make you. And tap into after hours tonight. Make sure y'all tap into the Patreon. Link is in the description as well as pinned to the top of the chat. Teej Henley, 40% off your first order, 20% off for life. I love you. I appreciate you. Y'all are the greatest audience on the face of this earth, and I can't wait to kick it with y'all tonight at the new channel.